You ready to rule the world?
Of course. Always am.
Living.
Welcome to my favorite game, If I Ruled the World. As I tell both of you, and anyone who'll listen, my dream is to be a dictator of a very small nation, of a group of people who not wanted me to be a dictator, but they were like, yeah, this sounds like a cool idea. So I didn't like take power from them. It just was the way it was. Okay. And yeah, I always think of what I would do to make my world perfect. And that's why I play this game. I feel like Josh has come in, because last time you weren't happy with how we ran If I Ruled the World.
He felt a bit ganged up on, or what was it?
No, I think I was more like, I always come to If I Ruled the World, like I ruled the world, like this should work. So then when y'all hit me with things I didn't think about, I feel like I'm not really ruling the world. I feel like my plans are falling apart. So I get a little vindictive because I'm like, you asked me what to do if I rule the world. You didn't tell me to plug up all the holes in my logic.
But remember, you have to vote. That's the game.
Yeah.
If I ruled the world, each of us takes the role of magnanimous dictator / world leader / king / god person. We change the world in any way that we want. However, you have to win the votes of the other two people. We also ask everyone who listens to the show if they want to submit ideas, and then we vote on them. So let's go through some of the suggestions now. I haven't seen any of these, so I don't know. All right, let's see. If I Ruled the World, listener suggestions. Here we go. This is from Rebecca. Rebecca says, if I ruled the world, I would make it mandatory for world leaders to spend an hour creating art, and it can be anything, drawing, painting, ceramics, glass blowing, before they make any critical decisions on important matters, such as military action, immigration, environmental policies, etc.
Absolutely not.
No?
That's what George W. Bush is doing now, is making art. That means some really dark stuff is going down if you have to make art.
But I feel like he doing it in reverse. He already killed all the people, and now he doing the thing.
Okay,
like,
that's true.
I think I would vote for this because I think that one of the most humbling things in the world is like doing an art that you don't do and then try to look like an expert in the same day. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, hey, y'all, we have to invade, but then the people just saw you and they were like, bitch, you can't draw. How you gonna let us get killed and you can't draw? You know what I mean? Like you have this
So the
like,
failure.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this. A closet. So yours is a?
I am a yes for this.
Christiana.
No.
You're a no.
Yeah, well, I'm paying.
I like it, but I'm a no. And I was a yes until Josh said his. I'll tell you why, Rebecca. No, because now I actually agree with Josh. But like, I think we have like this most sensitive egos.
Oh, yeah.
So if you like fail at the pottery, you might invade a country to show how good you actually are.
Oh, yeah.
So I agree with you, Josh, actually.
Yeah.
But I think so it's a no for me. Sorry, Rebecca. Fabian says, if I ruled the world, I would prohibit political careers. Everyone should have an occupation outside of politics. Government positions are a one-time thing and temporary. These positions should be considered a rare occasion to serve the nation. I vote yes immediately.
I also vote yes because you really want to go out like an all-star. You know what I mean? Some of these people start their political career and they're saying all the right stuff, but then you can tell after like 3 years they're like beat down and they try to pass the same thing over a while.
Yeah, you have to be.
And they get cynical.
Yeah, they get cynical. And then 15 years later, they're like, so... It's like, what do you mean so?
Yeah.
You don't even have to be there.
Yeah, no career politicians.
I agree. Well done, Fabian. You just got 3 yeses. Wow, that's a good one. All right. Senna says, if I ruled the world, I would change the curtains in fitting rooms at stores to something that provides a little more coverage because there always remains a very peek-throughable gap. And those two curtains have never fully met. Huh.
This is very specific.
This is super specific, Senna. Senna, did someone spy on you?
This is wild.
I feel like this is a complaint for a department store, not like a suggestion for It's also like if you ruled the world.
Yeah.
Imagine you have all the power in the world and you use it to make the curtains in dressing rooms.
Can I tell you right now, this person is having a good life. Because they were like, if I ruled the world, I really wouldn't change anything except for this one thing.
I mean, yes, because it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I vote yes.
I'm not against it.
I don't see any...
Yeah, honestly, to vote against it, low-key makes it seem like you like peeking. So I'm also going to vote yes.
All right, so Senna, you got 3 yeses. Julie says, if I ruled the world, I would have government-funded monthly barbecues in every neighborhood. Huh.
I don't trust the government to buy my meat.
Well, they're funded. It's just funded.
Oh, they're just funded.
So I guess they'll just pay for you. You can go and buy your meat wherever you like.
I've got so many questions. Like, do we have to show up to the barbecues?
No, it's just
Who's doing the
government funded.
grilling? Who's doing the grilling?
There's always someone to do the grilling.
The neighborhood I live in, I don't know if I'd want the people to make me meat.
Look, can I tell you right now, this feels like a bureaucratic way to get at the cookout. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I know infiltration when I see it. Okay? This some COINTELPRO, MK
man, that's
Ultra.
funny.
Yeah.
I like the sentiment though, because she's trying to get people together.
Yes, Julie's trying to get
So
people together.
I vote yes because the heart is in the right place.
Okay.
I also vote yes. The COINTELPRO was a joke. I do think that there's a world where using government funds to build community is what government should be for.
Yes, okay,
And
I like
so
that.
I
like that.
do like the idea.
Okay. I'm going to go no because I think people eat too much meat already. All right. Ben comes in and says, if I ruled the world, there should be fast lanes and slow lanes on the sidewalk. I'm just going to go no because that doesn't work on the highway. People are just going to walk where they walk anyway. And then who decides what fast is? What is, because you don't have a speed, you don't have a speedometer on you as a person. What is fast? What is slow?
I think that fast and slow is dictated by the local community. Like,
Exactly.
because then they measured the steps of people in New York versus people in Portland.
Yes.
And it's like, by and large, all New Yorkers walk faster
Way
than all
faster.
people in
Way
Portland.
faster.
So it's like, I think everyone starts to figure it out once you set those lanes up. The real problem is there's actually not enough sidewalk to go around. Because you got to go this way and this way,
Exactly.
and you have to
Yeah.
do it fast and slow.
I don't know.
That's 4 lanes of
I don't know.
sidewalk.
And then you've got someone like screaming at you, hey, this is the fast lane, buddy.
yeah.
And like, how fast are you walk? What is, I don't
Yeah,
know. I'm
yeah.
sorry, Ben. For me, it's a no.
Yeah, it's a no from me. It's getting real ableist right
Yeah,
now.
so sidewalks are really, you know?
Yeah, it's
Look,
fine.
Ben, I will tell you though, if you're trying to make your own fast lane, just walk with your fists out. People will get out the way.
All right. And then the last one comes from Charles, who says, cars should have more than just a turn signal. There should be a little LED sign where you can send a short message to another driver like, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, or your wipers are on, or move over. Wow, Charles, you are setting yourself up for Mad Max levels of fury on the road.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah.
write messages on people's lights.
See, I would be like, sometimes I'm in the car, I'm like, oh my God, I like her hairstyle. And I'd love to be able to say it, but they can't hear me. If I could say it with my lights, that'd be amazing.
You realize people are now catcalling from their
Oh my
cars.
God.
Yeah.
That didn't even cross my
No,
mind.
that's-
Yeah, because there's going to be guys who are
100%
like,
it.
I like your
Nice-
hairstyle.
nice hair.
Yeah.
Nice hair.
Nice
Yeah.
I've been
ass.
following you for a few blocks.
Hey.
Hey, what's your number?
I don't see a baby seat in that back seat. You know, I think it would be a bit rough because they would all have to be pre-planned. So we'd have to figure out like 4 or 5 messages you could
No,
send.
you could have a
and that's it.
dynamic one. You could just
You
have like
have a
a, you could have like
dynamic
a
one?
dot matrix that displays the. You could like say it and then
Say
it would
it.
just show it. I just don't think that's a good idea. It's bad enough that we already have, like, I don't think.
And how would people like read the light? That's what I'm
This
saying.
is what I'm just saying. This is trouble.
I mean, we're getting towards that self-driving, so you're gonna have to do something.
I hear you, but it's a no for me.
Yeah, it's a no for me too.
I mean, probably a no because I don't understand it, but yeah.
I feel like that's what people in Congress say every week.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote no on this because I don't understand it. But
I don't really get it.
But
Yeah.
All right. Now for the big rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So, who wants to go first? Josh, Christiana? I'm willing to go as well.
Can we like do a coin toss or pull?
Oh, just go
How
like
about
rock,
this?
paper, scissors?
Okay,
Just
let's
like freeway,
rock,
rock, paper,
paper,
scissors. No. Huh. Oh, so Christiana, I beat Josh. Christiana beats that. You beat me. Everyone
how about
beat
this?
everyone.
Josh beat me,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
you beat Josh.
Yeah.
So I go first.
Okay, fine.
Then
Oh,
Josh
okay.
second.
Okay, let's go. Christiana.
Okay. I didn't think I'd lose the game of randomness.
I don't think you lost, but okay.
Here we are. Okay. If I ruled the world, I would designate mandatory reality TV for everyone over 18 for 1 hour a week. You can pick whichever show you like, but you have to watch a reality TV show.
You have to watch it.
You have to watch a reality TV show.
Okay, now
For an hour a week.
you've roped me in. Why?
Okay. Because I actually think reality TV is where so much of real life is playing out that actually like narrative TV doesn't have at the moment. Like reality TV, you see lots of older women grappling with things like alcoholism or divorce or cancer, or you see couples going through nursing somebody who's ill, or then you see somebody that like just killed their wife, and they're like different races, different classes, socioeconomic groups. It's like a very good picture into the country you live in a way that often people are very siloed in their like media consumption. Whether, Fox News is one thing and MSNBC is another thing. You can watch The Real Housewives of New York, Atlanta, Beverly Hills. You don't know who is a Republican. I fell in love with a woman and turns out she's a big Trumper, but now I'm in love with her. So it's like, there's no going back. And it helps you see the humanity in people that you would otherwise not see and get to know people that you probably don't come across in real life. It could be like you're watching a show about the Duggar family that it's not on air anymore. And you're like, oh, I'm learning about like evangelical Christians who have all of these children. Or The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's set in Mormon, Utah.
But wait. But people can choose the reality show. So what if everyone's just choosing a show that teaches them nothing?
You'd be randomly assigned the show.
Okay, so you don't know which show
you don't know which show it is.
And you have to watch it.
Yeah, you have to do it. It's like your service.
You have to be engaged. You can't be on your phone. You're like.
I mean, you can be on your phone. I think a great thing about the reality show experience is that a lot of people live tweet when they're watching it, and they're covering it on Instagram and stuff.
Okay.
So if you want to connect with other viewers via social media, that's great.
And you wouldn't just make people watch a documentary once a week?
No way, because documentaries are so boring. You got all those talking heads. They'd be like, oh my God, and their statistics. I hate documentaries. Oh my God. And especially the vanity documentaries when you've like basically got access to the person. So nothing bad comes up. So not documentary.
Let me tell you right now, documentaries have that thing. They're starting to get that thing where there's a real wrestling match going on with like, we want to tell your story, but also don't make me look bad, but also you have to give us enough stuff. I'll tell you right now, there's one of the most incredible female soccer players of all time, Hope Solo, has an incredible documentary out. And I really love the documentary because I felt like it gave me everything while still like, not protecting her, but like shielding us a little bit from things that would make us judge her harshly.
Yeah.
But there is one point in it that I really liked where they had her talking about being like the real like rabid, we need to get up to this level type person on the team, like the Jordan of the team.
Yeah.
And they used the B-roll, and you could tell in the B-roll she was cursing the shit out of those girls. But they didn't play that B-roll because they probably knew it would make her look some type of way.
Good, yeah.
And she was already telling us that's what she was doing without saying the words. So she's like, I could be tough on my teammates, right? But in the B-roll, it's her being like... It's like coaching while she's playing. And so I get what you're saying, where it's like the documentary has a filtered nature that reality TV doesn't have.
And people on reality TV are by and large the most shameless human beings on the planet. They are so shameless.
You think reality TV has become more genuine than documentaries in many ways?
It shows so much truth. Like, for instance, if you watch The Real Housewives of Potomac right now, Karen Huger is in prison for a DUI. This is a black woman. She called herself the Grand Dame, very sophisticated upper crust black woman who you didn't even believe was capable of getting drunk and being sloppy. That's the image she put out there. And in my personal life, I've been talking about black women and alcoholism. I'm like, I know a lot of black women who drink a lot, right? But it's not something that we talk about publicly. It's in our group chats or whatever. We're seeing it play out at brunch. And Karen is like showing this mirror to like these experiences. And then there's lots of people that go to prison for like stuff like a lot of fraud, like insurance fraud and like the time of griftery things that you have these people in these affluent suburbs that do to get their money. That I think is a very American story, but you don't necessarily talk about. So yeah, you get kind of these shameless people who are a bit narcissistic, who are craving fame or attention, when I think a lot of people want attention in this country. And it makes you fall in love with people that you never thought you would fall in love with, who are very different from you.
And shameless people are sometimes the most honest. Shameless people do the same. They do things for the same reasons that we do them, but we either rationalize or like rationalization is sort of lying to yourself about it. But then there's also the lying to the world about it. Like, no, I did for this reason. Where a shameless person is like, I was trying to get the money. I got a plug.
Yeah.
Why would I not get the money?
And it will help you understand Trump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because people have never understood Trump.
But you think reality TV helps people understand Trump more?
Yeah, because he is a product. I think he is a product of reality TV.
He is.
He was a type of person that would go on reality TV.
A lot of his facade comes from The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Like if you watch Trump pre-Apprentice, watch him in interviews, watch him as a person, he doesn't have the exact same vibe to him like post-Apprentice.
Yeah.
I think because on the Apprentice, they were like, no, you got to do this, and you're fired, and they gave him the catchphrases and like the look, and I think he just sort of adopted that character, and he became. Yeah, I can see that. You know, when you first said it, I was firmly a no. I was like, this is a crazy idea, but I think you've won me. I think. For one, because I think you've given a good justification. But two, I just think we need to share more experiences as people. So if everyone is watching a show weekly everywhere in the world, I do like that everyone tomorrow has something to connect around.
In the office.
Yeah.
Wherever you
I think we need more collective viewing, more collective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm going to vote yes to reality TV.
Yay.
1 hour every week forced upon you.
Yeah, and I think it sparks conversation you would normally have to go to a very serious place to have. Like I find that like watching Love is Blind or watching Love Island gets like Sally and I talking about relationships in a way that's like fun because of what they're doing.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with us. Because if I just walk in the apartment cold and I'm like, what do you think about like when people don't know how to talk about cheating in their past? It's like we're having a very different conversation because then now you can't convince a person you don't mean you. But then when we watch someone on Love Island,
it is a nice
be like kind of that
it's a great catalyst.
Yeah,
I agree
exactly.
with that. Yeah.
And it helps yield moments like Trevor was saying, where it's like one of my favorite reality TV moments of all time is on Love and Hip Hop Hollywood.
Yeah.
When these two women were arguing, and you know how they get them drunk. They get them drunk, and they go to an event, but no one at the event but them. There's no event. And then they get to the event and they're drunk and they're arguing. And there was this one woman who had slept with this other woman's friend's man.
Yeah.
And so she was trying to tell her, like, you should value yourself more. He's like, don't tell me to value myself. I value myself, which is fine. He's hitting my phone, blah, blah. And they're going back and forth. Then the woman whose event it was, she like clearly has been drinking too much all day and she throws up. And the other woman they're about to fight. And the other woman goes, did you just throw up? And that is the realest moment I think I've ever seen. Like, forget the cameras for a second, forget everything.
They just pause everything.
Did you just throw up? And like, she almost asked, are you okay? But then the other girl who just threw up was trying to save face. She's like, yeah, you got so much plastic surgery, it makes me sick to my stomach, so you made me throw up. She was like, oh, okay, then that's what we're doing. All right, fine. But like that moment, I was like, that's a real person.
Yeah.
So I vote yes.
Yeah, and also I was going to say, I know you both voted yes. I should mention 90 Day Fiancé. Fascinating look into immigration.
Oh yeah, no, all these, you're not wrong about
Yeah,
You're not wrong. It is a crude look into many issues that, as Josh says so eloquently, we wouldn't get into otherwise. I like it. It's a yes. Well
Thank
done,
you, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just kicked it off with a double yes.
Yeah,
there
wow.
you go.
That's great.
I think this is my first double yes, maybe my second.
Yeah, I feel like you're the only person I voted for, though. I feel like I definitely vote against Trevor every time.
Everyone votes against me.
Most of us vote.
Yeah,
Everyone votes against me.
Yeah.
We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break.
Okay, so I'll go. And this is more playing God a bit than just like a government mandate if I rule the world as a dictator.
Play God.
Josh the God. God Josh.
If I ruled
Dear
the world,
Lord Josh.
I would make it actually hurt to be stupid. So like if somebody
This man,
Josh.
if somebody is willfully ignorant,
what?
Because let me pitch you this, right? Let me pitch you this. Get ready. Because I think you're against me now, and you'll be with
I'm not
me
even
in a
against
second.
We're going to let you land.
I'm absorbing that. I'm not against you. I'm in shock right now.
Because if you are someone who, in spite of everything that you know and everything you've been told, is like, you know what, I'm gonna stick a fork in the socket, and you stick the fork in the socket, it hurts you because your dumb idea ended up getting you hurt.
Yeah.
It costs you nothing to tell everyone else in the room who is impressionable to put a fork in the socket.
Okay.
So if you, just by saying and knowing it's wrong, put a fork in the socket, it's essentially Pinocchio but with pain. you know that you're being willfully ignorant. You know that you're lying. You know that, and so I wouldn't put my hand on the lever. I wouldn't be controlling how much. But you would have to have some actual barrier, because it costs people nothing to spread misinformation, and it costs people nothing to like lead people for the sake of manipulation in a way that is like willfully dumb. Do you know what I mean? I don't mean people who don't know things yet.
That's okay. This is the clarification I think I'm getting. So you're not saying people who quote unquote are stupid. You're not saying that. You don't mean somebody whose aptitude may not be at the level that this is not what you're saying. You're saying if somebody does or says something that they know is stupid, and they're just doing it to either act the fool or or drive people in the wrong direction.
But you know now.
Can you give me like more concrete examples?
Alex Jones will be in constant pain. That's what I mean. Someone who like for every, because what Alex Jones does that's particularly insidious is that he plays on things where whenever it's the right time and he's on the right podcast, he's an entertainer. And he's somebody who's
That's
just
true.
like who's just like taking the piss out of everything. Even in court, I'm just taking the piss out of everything.
I'm playing a character.
But then when it's just you and Alex, and you, I mean, an impressionable person who really feels like downtrodden, and you don't know who's to blame or if it's your fault or whatever, Alex is taking advantage of those people. He's catering to people who need something to blame that's like physical, and they can get out there and they can like attack that person, which is why you have like Alex Jones fans like spitting on and following and harassing people who are families of victims of school shootings and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like Alex and look, if he doesn't know, then it actually wouldn't hurt that much. But he knows. He knows what he's doing. And he knows when he's lying.
Okay.
I used to wonder if Alex was like this crazy person, or if he genuinely is this grifter who knows what he's saying is false. Because the two things that made me feel like, oh no, he knows what he's doing, is anytime, on the rare occasions that he is like right about something, he then uses that to leverage 19 other things that have nothing to do with that thing.
That's the classic conspiracy theorist move.
Then, when the lawyer for the families who were suing Alex Jones over Sandy Hook, when that lawyer said, you have such an incompetent counsel that they accidentally sent me your text messages. I sent that to the court saying, hey, I don't think they meant to send me this.
Yeah.
So it entered into discovery. Then I let your counsel know that they had sent me this thing and they didn't respond. So now I have all your text messages where you're saying that you know that these things aren't true. And Alex's face, a crazy person would be like, that didn't happen or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Alex's face was
had
like,
the reaction
oh no.
Yeah.
So now I know that you're like,
but that's why he
bullshitting.
lost the case, right? That's why he had that massive judgment against him.
And so that's what I mean. It's one of those things where.
What kind of pain?
Okay, but before you go in the pain, I think I get where you're going with this, and I may be able to follow. I think it needs a bit of refinement. Are you open to refinement?
Yeah, open to refinement.
All right, let's go. So
I'd be in pain if I wasn't.
So I feel like you may be conflating being willfully dumb and maybe being malicious or maybe being opportunistic. I think we're talking about different things.
I see what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
Some people are willfully ignorant, but not necessarily malicious intent. Like you can be willfully ignorant and you can be like, you don't need vaccines, drink celery juice. But that's not coming from a malicious place.
I think Josh wants pain for those people
yeah,
as well.
they actually think they're being helpful. But
they
what you're
think they're
describing,
being helpful, yeah.
What you're describing with Alex Jones.
The pain would clear it up for them, is what you're saying.
Because this is my only pitch where I'm like, you can vote with me or against me. I won't hold it against you past today. The world that I'm proposing, sans the actual pain, is the world that we live in. So you can go and tell people to do all these things and like, you know that they're not true and you're not actually helping anybody, or you think it's true and then you see people hurt. But that is the world we live in. It just takes longer and it depends on if you see the pain or not.
You don't. You become president, right?
True. You become president and you fear for your life every day because I already shot at you once. Like I think that like, in my opinion, most people really aren't getting away with anything in the long run of things.
This is a very karmic view of the universe.
It really is, actually.
Really like Buddhist principle.
I just feel like since we're already not getting away with anything, it might as well be immediate to be your own version of correction. Because if I'm the guy holding the fork and I put it in there, I'm like, oh,
It's immediate.
It's not worth it. I'm not going to do it again.
How would they feel the pain? Who administers it? Like,
This is what I want to know. I want to know more about the pain.
I think it would be
Who brings the pain, Josh?
I think it would be as different as the person. So, for instance, I think that like if I'm sitting down with Christiana and I'm like, look, let me tell you what the third trimester is like. I might slow down if my nose just starts bleeding a little bit. Do you have it? Like,
this is so dystopian.
It really is. Josh,
It's
we
not
sent
that
Josh away.
dystopian.
We were like, Josh, you're too nice. And Josh went away and he read every like Orwellian novel
Science
vibe
fiction.
thing he could. And Josh was like, oh, I will show you. Because this is, damn.
Okay, another question. If somebody is like determined in their willful stupidity and they're constantly feeling pain, does it get to a point where they die?
No, I don't think so.
So
Because
you still have the same life expectancy.
You still have the same life expectancy. I think a physical representation of the thing now is there are those people that are like very like crunchy hippie and everything, and they drink silver because they're like, no,
They drink silver.
Yeah, they drink silver.
I have not heard
and so
about
they're like,
silver.
no, if I drink the silver, I won't need like a list of things that are actually like not that invasive and just like medically.
Because of its antibacterial qualities.
Okay, I know. Yeah, silver's great, but I didn't know
so
people were drinking it.
It's
now.
like they will turn a little bit blue. You'll see it on them.
Yes.
so
and
they
then
will look like what they're going through.
Yeah, they'll look like what they're going through, and they'll still be sick because you just drinking silver. You didn't like go to the hospital. You know what I mean? And I think that version is like kind of almost the thing that I'm proposing now,
Okay.
where it's like you're not walking around like but I do think if you're sitting there and you know, but because of like whatever biases you have, like I watched this documentary with someone who had left the neo-Nazi movement, and he said that the entire time I was in there, the entire 20 years that I was a neo-Nazi, I spent all of my days and most of my life rationalizing because I was constantly being bombarded with things that showed me the world was not the way that I had both been told it was and was telling myself that it was. And so I'm like, yeah, you're already in pain to a certain degree because now this like black neighbor that you have has been incredibly nice to you and mowed your lawn and everything.
Okay,
and
but
now
you
you're
feel like they should have gotten that pain earlier.
100%.
And physically.
Yeah, because now he's over here. He's this neo-Nazi who was whooping ass for 20 years, and I was like, but I've changed. It's like, that's great. I'm glad. But man, maybe if your head hurt a little bit while you were like rationalizing.
What age does the pain thing start?
I think it starts when your brain stops developing. That way everybody gets, their little fair share. You would, like, if you're a kid, like, you wouldn't even understand the pain if they gave you the pain.
Like
yeah,
the frontal lobe comes
you
in
wouldn't even know what's
25.
happening.
Okay.
You know?
I think I'm ready to vote.
Okay.
Hey, Trevor, you go first.
I'm going to vote no. Only because I don't think we have a clear idea of who is or isn't being stupid in society and in life. And I know it's a bit of a cop-out, but I think it's true. And I think while like Alex Jones is like an almost easy example, I think there's some examples where people will feel pain for the wrong reason at the wrong time, and then it might shut down something that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
Like maybe there's someone who's like, hey, the earth is round, we need to sail the other way, long before everyone else is saying it. And then they're like, and then they don't do it. Or someone doesn't invent electricity, or I'm worried about that.
Yeah, it stops
I
exploration a bit.
but I will say this. I love as Christiana said, I love the comic side of what you're saying. I do think it would be great if people experience the ramifications of their actions a lot sooner. However, I just worry that even in our finite understanding of what is and isn't stupid at the time that we're processing it, we might put a lot of good people in pain who might not do something that was necessary for us because they were like, I don't want the pain. And I think pain also stops people from exploring something that might seem stupid at the time that they're going to say it, but then isn't later. And you know, I do love the idea, but I'm going to vote no, unfortunately.
Before you vote,
Okay.
I will say, I'm not talking about imagination. And I'm talking about, I'm not even having my hand on the lever.
Okay.
You know what's a lie. and you keep telling it to people, and that gives you a headache. I think and so I get everything that you're saying.
Okay,
and I don't expect you to change your vote.
Now let me ask you one question. What if somebody is lying to, like, let's say there's a government out there that's a dictatorship, and then the police come knocking on the door trying to take your family away, and then you lie to the military police. Do you feel pain?
Oh no, a lie. I'm talking about a lie that is like willful ignorance. I'm still not talking about having an imagination or a lie to like protect
a
someone's
noble lie,
feelings. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if somebody's
so
like,
it's only something where you believe the opposite completely, and you are doing it.
it's really only
It's
like
malicious.
it's really only like the slightly to very malicious spread of misinformation or disinformation.
I'll change my vote to yes.
Wow. Ooh.
I did not see that coming.
I'll change my vote to
Go,
yes.
Josh.
Yeah, wow.
No. Now
Okay.
you cleared it. I'll change my vote to yes.
Okay. So, as somebody who recently gave birth and has given birth without drugs and has a very high pain threshold, like I 3D printed a human through my vagina, Josh. So like, and I was 9 months pregnant. I think you underestimate how, and then there's people that live with chronic pain, how pain can kind of just become ambient. I think you're describing very damaged people right now. Like I think Alex Jones
Sure.
needs to do a lot of like spiritual work, not to like psychologize him, but like this is a very damaged person. And there are certain types of people that have a high pain threshold, are used to chronic pain. The pain is always ambient. And there are some people who thrive off pain.
I forgot about the boners.
There are people who thrive off pain.
Yeah. Nope, you're right.
I know this woman called Laura Checkaway. She made this great documentary called Lucky about this girl who I think lives in the Bronx, and she's like really charismatic and beautiful, and she's covered in tattoos, right?
Yeah.
And she says in the documentary, see, I shit on documentary, but that's actually a really good documentary. She says, they were like, why do you have all these tattoos on your face? And she'd had a really tough life. And she says, I can't really locate the pain I feel emotionally. So every time I get a tattoo, I can feel the pain physically.
Oh, damn.
I'm paraphrasing it now. And it made me look at like, psychic pain a bit differently.
I mean, yeah, that
and look
would.
at people that have lots of piercings and people that have lots of tattoos. Like they're actually trying to physically experience something that they only experience emotionally and can't often locate. And I think that we're talking about very emotionally damaged people if you're like willfully putting bad information in the world for your own gain. And I think you underestimate how many people, for whatever reasons, maybe they've had really tough lives or maybe they're sociopathic, who would actually enjoy that sensation of pain. It's making them feel something.
Jeez.
Right?
Whoops.
That is, and I feel like Trump is in that category because of his own damage. He likes to feel like the thing that we're like, ugh, everyone thinks you're awful, you're a nasty person. He gets a rush from that pain and that criticism. And I do fear you would create a world where people would seek out that pain.
You basically saying we'd create like supervillains.
The Joker.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like you're saying.
Like,
Damn. Look,
Yeah.
my vote's still a yes.
We're already in a world where people like self-harm for various reasons. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, there's part of the human experience where pain can be very validating and offers release. My worry is that some of these bad actors feeling the pain are just going to do more bad things. And that's why it's a no. Not because I don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah. No. Those people will probably have to be tackled.
Damn, Josh, you were
But
close.
I do like the underlying
Yeah, you were
flaws,
close.
and there's something there.
No, I'll keep working on it.
Yeah,
I keep working on it.
refinement.
You know what I mean?
Refinement. You
were
We've
close.
actually never done an If I Ruled the World that was a revised idea of an old idea.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're going to come back?
Go workship it.
I might.
And we
Look,
repitch.
it might be 3 If I Ruled the World later. This is going to take
Got it.
time.
Got
Because
it.
now I forgot about a whole demographic of
Yeah.
people and everything.
Supervillains.
Yeah.
Don't forget the supervillains. And now it's time for today's Self-Care Toolkit segment, brought to you by Amazon. Whether it's delivering medication to your door with Amazon Pharmacy or 24/7 virtual care with Amazon One Medical, thanks to Amazon, healthcare just got less painful. What's your sick day routine? Because we all have one, even if we don't admit it. There's a rhythm to it, you know? The minute your body gives up and you surrender to the couch, everything else follows. the food, the TV, the music, the mood. I mean, there's movies, obviously movies. You can't watch anything new when you're sick. That's a rule. It has to be something familiar. Something you've seen a dozen times. For me, it's something random like The Princess Bride, Ocean's 11, or Finding Nemo. Yes, something warm. Something where you already know how it ends, and that's the point. Because I don't know where this sickness is going, man. Oh, it's got to be music. You know, music soft and low-key, lo-fi beats, acoustic soul, maybe a little Nora Jones, you know, if you're really leaning in. It's less about listening and more about setting the tone, the background sound for your inner drama. Maybe reading. No, that was a fake. I'm not going to read. Forget it. I always think I'll catch up on a book, but let's be honest. I stare at the ceiling or scroll through my phone at like 5% brightness like I'm decoding ancient texts. I'm not reading a book when I'm sick. It feels like somebody's squeezing my nose into my head. You want me to concentrate on words written on a page? I'm more focused on food. Yes, food. That's the one part I take seriously. It has to be hot and comforting. Ramen or grilled cheese with tomato soup. They say the two come together to cure any ailment. Something simple that wraps you up from the inside, you know? And honestly, the best part is that one friend who always checks in. You know who that friend is, or maybe you are that friend. The, hey, I heard your voice in that meeting. You sounded like a dying person. Are you okay? You know, that friend was like, hey, I've noticed you weren't in the group chat laughing at all the memes. Are you still alive? Yeah. Just that little person, that little voice note or text that slips in to let you know that you matter. I feel like that's part of the medicine. Sick days are weirdly sacred. They're like a reset button wrapped in a hoodie. And when you get the routine just right, even being sick feels kind of bearable. Well, we hope you gave you some ideas for your self-care routine. Today's self-care toolkit segment was brought to you by Amazon. Thanks to Amazon, healthcare just got less painful. All right, so Christiana has her 2 votes. Josh only got 1. Let's see if I can get anything out of this one. So, if I ruled the world, I would make it so that every thought people are having during sex or intimacy comes out of them verbally, whether they like it or not.
This is insane.
Man, this man trying to get a no.
What the?
Let me finish.
All right.
Me finish.
Yep.
You will be making out with somebody, and like in my world, it like comes out of everywhere. Don't worry about like, oh, but I'm kissing them. No, it might come out, it might play out of your ears. This is the world I'm creating.
Yeah.
Think of it as like having a little speaker on you, not visible, but you're making out with somebody, and whatever you're thinking comes out of you.
Me, oh, I need to do the washing. Oh, I need to do...
That's fine.
No.
Whatever it is comes out of you. And if you're having sex with somebody, whatever you're thinking, whatever they're thinking, it comes out of them, and the other person is able to hear it while this is happening.
Okay.
This is the whole idea.
This is the complete idea, Josh.
Okay. All
Right.
Cool.
Now,
cool.
I will tell you why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. So, the reason I think this would be a great idea is for a few reasons. One, because we live in a world where nobody teaches us about sex. Nobody. We go to school, we learn about different types of clouds. I know about cumulonimbus. I know about stratus. I know about different types of rivers, perennial, non-perennial. Nobody taught me about sex at school. Like nothing. They taught you about like the genitalia. That's not sex. They did not teach you about sex.
I mean, there's a
with another-
reason you can't like demonstrate sex to children.
But you're not taught about sex. And this is the thing that
But the best way to learn about sex is sometimes experiential.
No. I think there's ways you can learn about a thing without doing it. So here's the thing I think of sometimes. We'll make these arguments, but then like go watch a cartoon. They show things like there's cartoons where they're shooting each other's heads off and getting blown up and all kinds of things. You know how many times Bugs Bunny blew off Elmer Fudd's head with a gun? But nobody said, you can't show kids somebody shooting someone's head off.
I mean, someone probably should have said that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like we will say I'm saying sex is a good and natural part of life.
Okay.
And I'm saying in our lives no one teaches it to us. Now, I'm not even saying when. You brought children in, by the way, let the record show. I said nothing about children, and then Christiana all of a sudden threw children at me as if now I just said we don't get taught about sex.
Yeah.
I'm saying even when we're 21, there's no sex school. You know what I mean? When we're 18, there's no sex school. So this is the first part. No one teaches us about sex. Secondly, we have done a terrible job at working in and around consent. Just let's be honest. We've done a terrible job. The Me Too movement came and went, and what did we actually learn from it? Right? Almost nothing. Half of the people are like, well, this is why I'm not going to have a woman in my office. That doesn't seem like the lesson we were trying to learn. Do you get what I'm saying? But also, we didn't dive into the nuances. We didn't talk about how consent is fluid and is always moving and is sometimes verbal, sometimes non-verbal, sometimes culturally defined. It's complicated. It's difficult. That's what I'm saying in my world. When you are being intimate with somebody, every thought you are having would be loudly and clearly projected to the other person.
Okay, but Trevor,
Yes.
why not just do the school of sex first before you have to do the thoughts?
Yes. Okay, another reason for this is because I think a lot of couples out there have sex lives that diminish over time because they're not sharing what's in their mind and they can't like tap into it. So you hear many stories of women who are not being pleasured and they don't say it to their partner. And then like 15 years down the line, they're like, yeah, it wasn't working for me. The sex wasn't great. And you're like, this poor guy, he didn't know. He never got a chance.
Wouldn't the school of sex help resolve that?
The school, remember, people fail in school all the time.
That's okay. Failure's okay.
No.
People fail at sex all the time.
Yeah, but you see, in my world, it's not about the failure nor the success. It's just about the raw honesty that the thing would provide. Okay?
Yeah.
Think of it the other way as well. Like, there are men out there who might have like a fantasy or something they want to think about and they want to share and they can't share and then it blocks them off from their partner. Both ways it can go, by the way. I don't even think it's gendered. I'm just saying these are examples. And so I'm saying you'd be having the sex. And to your point, you might go, oh, I have to do the washing. Oh, I have to do the dishes. I have to. And then your husband could say to you, baby, you don't worry about the dishes right now. I got you, babe. You don't need to worry about those dishes.
Okay.
I've
got a couple of things.
You can ask as many questions as you like.
So there's this guy I follow on TikTok. I forget his name. I think we should have him on the show.
Yeah.
He's a PhD. He's a professor who studies like boyhood and manhood. And one of the studies they did was about what men think about during sex.
Okay.
And they got these men to speak to, I don't know how they conduct this experiments. But
probably all lies, but carry on.
No, and it was very revealing. Men said they think about other men in the sense they think about what they're going to tell their friend about this sexual
these
experience.
are lies. Who are these guys?
Anyway, he goes through all of these things.
You see, this is what I don't like about these studies. These are lies. Sorry, carry on. These are lies.
Look, now he's become anti-intellectual because he doesn't like it.
No, these are lies.
Okay.
They're just going to say like, these are... Josh,
like,
Josh.
But he was just saying, it was interesting.
Let's just ask Josh.
And the men think about their insecurities. Men think, what does she think about my body? It was like very vulnerable.
Oh yeah, but that's everyone. Yes,
right.
That part is everyone.
And my thing is, I don't know if men are ready for what women think about them during sex. Because some of it is not very nice.
That's
and you
great.
could go away with a lasting scar about what she thinks about your physical appearance.
This is great.
And I think there's a reason thoughts are private. I was going to say privates are private, but thoughts are private.
No, but these privates are thoughts that are going to not be private. Here's a counter argument to what you're saying, and I'm with you completely. Remember, in my world, you will not know the before. Remember, these are the rules of if I ruled the world. The people are not going to now, it's not a new thing for them. I'm just saying for all of us, it switches tomorrow. We will not remember what it was, okay? So, everyone will be experiencing this. At some point, you will become immunized to it.
No, I think people just won't have sex.
You think you can stop people from having sex?
I think this could stop people from having sex.
People, you know that in refugee camps, people have sex.
I'm with you.
I'm just letting you know now.
Yeah, but those thoughts are pretty quiet. Just like the sex.
But man, people have sex everywhere.
I'm with you.
People in jail have sex.
Because there are no thoughts.
Yeah.
You don't know the thoughts.
Because I want you to win here. I want to see you succeed. So these are my questions. All right.
Do you know how good the sex can be if people reveal their intimate
why
secrets?
Don't they just say it?
No, because they can't. That's what I'm saying. In my world, they are just saying it. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, because you're forcing their thoughts.
I'm not forcing it. It just happens to you.
But no, because you change.
It's like a fart that you can't block, but from your mind.
Have you smelled farts?
Yes, but that's what... Okay, now, actually, this is a great point. If you hang out with your friends, your closest friends, people who you really love and vibe, your kids even, You tell me that farts haven't brought you closer together. People love to intellectualize so many things in this world. But let's be honest, Josh. You're hanging out with somebody close to you. You're a couple. Any couple who's listening to this right now, you think to yourself, you're a couple, you're in bed together. One of you farts. Tell me that moment doesn't bring joy into your lives.
No, because when you have kids, you just blame it on one of the kids.
Yeah, but it's funny. But it's funny. You see, it brings you something.
Yeah.
You fought with your friends. When do you not fart? When you do not fart with people that you are not comfortable with, environments that you are not comfortable in, right?
Yeah.
In environments. So what I'm saying is, the fart is a great measure for where you are most comfortable. Okay. Let it loose. Let it rip.
But you're doing it, you're consenting to the fart coming out.
Yes,
because you're comfortable.
Yes, but the other person...
I'm not consenting to the thought coming out. And if I consent to the thought coming out, I just say it. That's why we have mouths.
No. But what I'm saying is here, I'm helping people, just letting it come out.
Okay, so I have 3 questions because I think this is a very interesting idea. When your thought comes out,
yes,
can you talk while your thought comes out?
You can't talk at the same time.
You can't talk at the same time as your thought comes out.
You can't think a different thing to what you're saying.
Okay, because you can think so fast and because you can think faster than you can speak, you could speak and then think, and then the thought comes out right after the spoken word, right?
That's true.
So
you could say, "Oh, this is the best sex I ever had," and then your brain goes, "No, it's not."
Yeah.
Yes.
And you want that person to hear that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yes.
Then the other 2 things, which I feel like are the sticking points for
Can I tell you why? Let me ask you.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you why. Because I think in my world, I think there could be something beautiful on the other side of the friction that we would experience initially. Because yes, I understand where you're coming from. Please don't get me wrong. Okay. Even me myself, when I came up with this idea, I was like, Trevor, this is crazy. To me myself.
Yeah.
Right? Because I challenged myself as well. Okay. And then I thought, but think about how beautiful this moment could be. You're having sex with somebody, right? Okay. They go, this is the best sex I ever had. Then their brain voice comes out and goes, no, it's not. I've had much better sex. Now
you want to end a bunch of marriages.
Now you can say, you wouldn't even think about.
But what if
is marriage the first time you guys are having sex?
No, but what if somebody is thinking about an ex or thinking about what they watched during sex?
I think that this opens us up to the world of intimacy that we often act like isn't happening already. And I think so. For instance, somebody says, "This is the best sex." No, it's not. Then you could say, "Oh, why did you lie to me?" Now your brain might even say that.
People are going to get shot. Trevor.
Christiana, why are you jumping?
Men are going to shoot their wives, and wives are going to stab their husbands.
Christiana, you understand that people are not having sex for the first time when they're married. You're jumping straight to that. People have had sex along the way.
In a relationship, sure, but like you've had sex along the way. You hear a thought, and someone just like, oh, her titties are lopsided. Shag them. I think you're just. And I love why the intention behind it. Like, I'm not hating on there, Jay. For real, you want like this radical transparency and honesty and freedom
and intimacy
and liberation.
Yeah, I just think it could be fun. It could be funny and interesting.
Are very emotional and.
But I'm saying that would happen only because now we're in it. Remember, we'll become a little more robust as people. This is like how we are.
I don't think so.
This is just how we are. Don't go anywhere because we got more What Now after this.
These are the sticking points I have, right?
Okay.
Is that, one, we know this from comedy. All 3 of us know this from comedy, that sometimes you have a comedic thought, which is a joke.
Yes.
And people will see you perform the joke in a place that's also a setting for jokes.
Yes.
And they'll still be like, they meant it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now a thought that is like a sexy thought, or I'm just thinking, or I'm thinking whatever, is going to now seem like, because remember, you can't hear the thoughts when we're not being intimate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now the only time I hear your thoughts, it's going to be a thing that might be slightly negative or be a thing that like takes the fantasy too far.
Okay.
Because you got to remember for people who are into like S&M or anything like that, there might be a moment where it's like you're consensually choking someone who wants to be choked. But in your head, you're like, I'm going to kill you. And now you were never going to kill them. You were never going to they audibly hear. Okay. So now they're like,
no, but then they would say in their brain, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
And why they stop thinking? They would be like, you're going to kill me? And then your brain would go like, no, I'm not going to kill you.
No,
like
we're playing.
Thoughts.
We're playing.
We're just playing.
But now you've distracted from the thing that they were enjoying, which was the like, little rough, choky thing. Because now you had to think around the thing you would have been.
Okay, I can take this.
I've got something as well.
Okay.
Because I'm married, I'm just in like married and couple lands.
Yes.
What does this mean for casual sex? Because most sex really that people are having, like whether you're someone you swiped on Tinder or Grindr, it's a stranger. Right. It could be someone you met at a club.
Loving it.
What does it mean for casual sex?
Mm. What do you mean? What does it mean for?
Because then it could be like an encounter, and it's.
I think it would be great.
And the guy's like, "Oh my god, what if my wife finds out?" And you're like, "What shit? You got?"
But that's fantastic. You see, you're just telling me a good thing.
No, that's double stabs. Because now you get stabbed.
I think this
where
is a
you
good
get
thing. But remember, I said when you are being intimate. So I'm saying even like when you start kissing. And remember, I didn't just say sex. I said the intimacy. As soon as you be intimate,
you did say
it
that.
starts
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. So
like from the moment, that moment where we look at somebody. And then there's the silence. Then we think something. Mm-hmm. Then the voice would come out and be like, "I wonder if now is a good time to kiss them."
Isn't there like an app that we could? I think there's just something that's an in between. I think I like the school of sex thing that you were talking about that we don't have.
Yes.
I think there's lots of steps we can get to before this kind of Black Mirror world where people know sex.
Because you got to remember
before you kiss.
This is the only other thing that I have.
But I'm not saying it's a terrible. It just feels like the most extreme version of this problem we're trying to solve.
It does feel like radical honesty, but I think that there's a world where, because you and I, Trevor, are both men and we understand what men are like.
Yes.
I had to sit down a couple of my friends who did not believe me when I told them there were plenty of men in this world who will act flamboyant, they'll even act gay to like get in with you, and now that they're your gay best friend and y'all touch or y'all play or whatever, now you're like, "Oh, I've never thought about you this way, and I've never been with a woman." But all lies. All lies.
Again?
But literally that much of a long game, and I worry that you will create Jedis of men who know their thoughts are gonna be heard, so they're like, "I gotta," because you gotta remember, gotta remember, a lot of dudes are trying
will be able to control their thoughts to that point.
100%. Because this is the thing, they know when it's gonna be turned on, so they know how they have to think for it. Then they know when it's going off, so then they can be like, "Whew, okay, right?" Right after she leaves. I'm saying already in this analogy, a lot of guys during sex are trying not to end sex. They're fighting to keep the sex going.
Yes.
So a lot of what you'll hear are baseball statistics. A lot of it'll just be like the great Bamboni. And so now she's like, why is he just doing numbers in his head?
But I think you are doing what I did when I first heard about Airbnb and Uber. Mm-hmm. The first time I heard about Airbnb, I was like, this is never going to work. Mm-hmm. I remember hearing about it as a concept. They said there's this app, people stay at strangers' houses. I was like, this will never work. Nobody is going to allow a stranger to come into their home and live there. Sometimes stay with them. That'll never happen. Nobody trusts each other. Uber, I remember being like, this is the craziest idea I've ever heard. You're telling me people are going to drive their own car to pick you up, and they don't know you, and they're not a professional driver, they're just a random driver. I was like, I don't know. And yet, look, we get into Ubers with strangers all the time. We go live at Airbnbs all the time. And yes, there's the occasional friction. I'm not saying it's perfect, but for the most part, it works. And I honestly, both of you, as brilliant thinkers and as my friends, I hear what you're saying, but I think you're focusing on the friction side of it more than you are on what comes from the other side of it. Mm-hmm. So to your point, I think there would be something beautiful in the person who's having sex with the man going, baseball stats? And then he goes, yes, I'm trying to prolong my ejaculation. I'm trying to make sure that I don't ejaculate.
Just did it because I mentioned it. And now where are we? See, you interrupted my snaps.
No, but you see, but now I think it opens up, there's an intimacy because now she can go, oh, why are you trying that hard not to ejaculate? Or I think there's like something that can open up in a way that that right now we don't have in sex. This is what I'm saying.
Why not just go to a sex therapist?
Cristiano, how can people just afford sex therapists randomly?
What you rule the world? You can give sex therapy away for free.
Yes, but now that's like everyone has to go through the thing and do the thing. I'm just instantly. We're in it.
I really need you to sell me on what the upside of this is. I'm not focusing on the tension.
Okay, I'll tell you. There are three upsides to this thing.
I can help you on the upside, too.
So there are three upsides that I think. Upside number one, I think we lose a lot of intimacy in sex because we hide numerous things. We hide the fact that we're uncomfortable. We hide the fact that we don't know how we feel for the other person. We hide so many things that I think rob us of the intimacy that we could be experiencing. So from fresh hookups all the way to married couples. You know how many guys out there have no idea how quote unquote terrible the sex was with the girl they were with. And she's like, I don't know if I can, I really like the date that we went on, but that was just horrible. And this person doesn't know. They're a nice person. And then maybe they become less of a nice person because they're like, why don't I get second hookups? Or we go on dates and they like me. But this happens, right? And then also for a woman, it's like, imagine what it's like to be you in a world where you're not getting great sex because you don't want to hurt the person's feelings. But now it's not you. The thing is just happening to her. So the first thing I'm saying is I think it would open up a lot of intimacy channels. These are the upsides. I understand the downsides. I think another thing it would do is it would help people voice the moments where they're uncomfortable, where I think sometimes the other person doesn't even know. And I think this can happen both ways. Sometimes people are uncomfortable. And it would be great if your brain could just say, I'm uncomfortable. And then you go like, oh, damn, you're uncomfortable? Okay.
But don't you worry that by creating this shortcut, then people just aren't going to do what I think is the proper work of spending time and getting to know someone? And whether it's your casual hookup or whether it's like people been together for a long time, if you know their thoughts are just going to be downloaded to you, you're like, I'm not going to ask my wife about her day. I just know during sex I'm going to hear about, oh, that bitch in the office was talking about me.
No, but that depends on what people think about during sex. I think we should give people some credit. Some people are able to really focus on the sex.
We can't focus. We're on our phones all the time.
No, I think there's a lot of times when people are having sex going, this feels amazing. I love this person so much. I'm so lucky. What an amazing experience. I don't want to, whatever it might be. But I think there are those upsides.
Okay.
And so I'm willing to take a little bit of the friction for what I think could be a beautiful, open, honest, and interesting conversation that we could be having during sex.
Okay.
This is the thing I was going to say that might help you. Who knows? People probably, I'm assuming, don't quite have some of the sensitivities that they have in our current world.
That's what I mean, because remember, it's always been like this.
It's always been like this.
So they just know that that's what happens during sex.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
It's the same way.
You're asking me, like, do I want to live in a world where this is true?
That's what I mean. Because think of it this way. Thank you, Josh, actually, because think of how crazy our current sex is. Imagine if we lived in an alternate universe and I had pitched this to you and I said, if I ruled the world, I would make it so that whenever people orgasm, their face goes like this, and then they go like, I don't think either of you would say yes to that.
Sure.
You would go, why would, you might even say, why would anyone have sex? If you're going to end it with, why would anyone have sex? So I thank you, Josh, because that is exactly what I'm saying is, yes, to us, it is weird now because we think tomorrow it'll be that. But for the people of this world that I rule, it will be like that. There was no other way. And so I think their journey will come with different frictions, but I think a more holistic, honest, and intimate experience.
Okay. I think I might be out of questions, but I guess my other thing is that not to lean heavily on the friction forever, but I guess there are things of like, even if we're having a coffee together and you just keep checking your phone, you're giving me the impression you want to be somewhere else and you want to do something else.
Yes.
So then when I'm like, hey, are you late? Do you need to go? Whatever. And you're like, no, I'm fine. But then you do keep doing this.
Yes.
That for me, I think you'll have a hard time while sex will become more honest and more like understanding of what the experience was for both people. I wonder if you would not actually slightly increase the amount of bad sex because of just how the brain works. Even in your alternate universe where people know this is going to happen, there's still a level of like, sex is already the most intimate thing you can do with a person.
Yeah.
So if they are clearly thinking about someone else or don't want to be there while consenting in a way. Like, I have stuff to do.
I'm with you.
You know, I think in this world, we haven't considered sex workers. And if you're a sex worker and it's your occupation, sometimes you're at your job and you're not enjoying your job.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about sex workers.
Yeah, because
I'm
if
a
you
real
went to a
feminist.
restaurant and then they're taking your order, but they're also like, this dumbass forehead. Like that, that would be like, oh, I don't even know if I want to eat here anymore.
And I just feel like for people that do sex work in this universe, because there's going to be sex work, prostitution, it's the oldest job in the world.
Yeah.
There's no multiverse
Okay.
where you don't have it. I feel like if you're a sex worker and you know that every client is going to have insight into what you're thinking, it makes the job harder. And their work is hard enough as it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready for my votes.
Okay, so I'm actually going to vote yes, right? I'm voting yes because I do think there are a lot of people who don't deserve to be having sex. And this will ruin them. This will
We just got Dark
completely-
Josh.
No.
We really got
I
Dark
know,
Josh
I
today.
know.
This will take them down, right?
Oh,
Like I
man.
said before about us being men and us like knowing what other men are like.
Yes.
And I'm like, if there was a thing that was not me as your friend to like one of my female friends, right, who was telling on him right now, if there was something he could do that could tell on himself, maybe you'd finally see it.
Yeah. Actually,
And
that's
I
a good
think,
point.
And
yeah.
I think that only in a world like this will that happen.
Yeah.
And so I would say, yeah, I do consider the sex work part of what you're talking about, because then sex workers would have to become Jedi experts at like,
But nobody can in my world.
they can't do the Jedi
Remember, it's
thing.
what's in your mind. It's what's really in your mind.
Ooh, okay. Well then, it's worth the takedown of terrible people. So I'm gonna vote yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Josh.
No surprises, I'm going to vote no. But I actually do appreciate the problem you're trying to solve.
Okay.
And I think if the steps before getting to this like brain thing are good steps, and I just worry like a Elon Musk type could hack it, or it's just
There's no hacking. It's in my world. It's perfect. Unhackable.
The idea is not even perfect. So how can your world be perfect?
But I mean, the execution is.
You know what I think could have won Christiana over though?
Yeah.
Is if your world where you do this thing is like the Total Recall thing. So you put the thing on and then you can hear the thoughts. But it's like a thing that you have to switch on.
No.
Okay, Trevor. Because you could sway me to be a yes.
If.
Is there an opt-in, opt-out option?
Oh, that's interesting. I'm in for that.
So if there's opt-in,
Oh yeah, I'm definitely in for
Okay,
that.
I vote yes.
Wait, no, then I gotta vote no.
Why? How did I just lose you?
Because every dude I was trying to destroy will now opt out.
Yeah, but now
Or he'll convince his girl to opt out.
But now wouldn't that be okay? I hear what you're saying there,
Yeah.
but I mean that would be suspicious. Imagine you're gonna have sex with someone and it's like, so we both. You want to do some honest sex? And they're like, nah, I don't do that.
Yeah, what do you
Then
think condoms are, bro? Like, that's what people do it half the time. hey, you on birth control or whatever, right? Okay, like that.
Okay, all right. So I would get a yes from you, but then I would flip to a no from
Yeah.
you.
I'm sorry.
Whose vote do you value more?
The opt-in is so much fun.
Yeah,
though.
opt-in, opt-out, I think
The
it's great.
opt-in
because
makes
I
it
think,
so much fun.
Trevor, let me tell you something about opt-in or opt-out. For couples, that can be the thing that makes it really risky. So like, are we going to wear the headset tonight?
Yeah.
I actually like this a lot.
Yeah.
Just like the idea of like, yo, you want to be in my head tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something sexy
So
in
if
that.
it's opt-in, opt-out, absolutely. But if it's like a feature all humans have in this science fiction multiverse,
look, I like yours because it just brought more mischief into my world, but I actually like it being everyone and everything because I think sometimes people are tired and they don't want to have sex and then they have sex and then there's too many things. So I still like it. No opt-in, no opt-out, no
Okay.
manipulation, no one convincing you to opt in or telling you why you should opt out. Someone's going to make a church of opt-outers and be like, it's sinful to opt in. There'll be a whole thing.
Okay, I'm sorry. Then it's a no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Josh,
but it is a yes from me.
Well, I'll take my one vote. Josh got one vote for his If I Ruled the World. I got one vote for my If I Ruled the World. And Christiana, once again, you are the champion of If I Ruled the World. Thank you to everyone who submitted their suggestions to us, by the way. For all of you who got the yeses, I envy you. And to all of you who got the no's, I feel your pain. I feel it like Josh sent it to me in my bones. This was fun. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah, thanks.
Happy Nick Kyrgios Day, everybody.
Happy Nick Kyrgios Day.
And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about how sports have a personality. The sport is the way it is. And for a long time, that's how the sport sees itself. So tennis is a perfect example, right? You have a sport where initially it was very calm, very rich English people wearing white clothes, and they would hit the ball to each other and they would politely clap. Bravo, Michael. Bravo, bravo. Great job. And in every sport, there's always somebody who comes along who shakes things up. It's not just like who they are, but it's how they play. It's how the game sees them. It's how they see the game. You know, I think of it in golf, it was Tiger Woods, obviously. You know, I remember the furore. Do you remember how crazy people got when Tiger Woods did the fist pump after he won? Like people, I remember that being a scandal in golf. People were like, is that for golf? Should that be something that people do in golf? I don't know if he should be. This guy is, they made it seem like Tiger Woods like did a drive-by shooting on the golf course.
I know nothing about golf, and that is absolutely burned into my brain, that image of him. And I know nothing about that sport.
And that's why he's so important to the sport, because Tiger Woods basically brought, let's put it this way. He brought a relative amount of swag to the game of golf. He's super swaggy for golf. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. And I think every sport has that person. They come in and everyone who's like traditionalist, you know, complains about the person who comes in because of what they do. But Nick Kyrgios is that player in tennis. If you hate tennis or if you think it's boring, you love Nick Kyrgios. And if you love tennis, then you'll have an opinion on Nick Kyrgios, because this kid came into the game, and I say kid purposefully because when Nick Kyrgios started playing tennis, he came in as a teenager. No one expected anything from him. He was playing in Australia. He didn't even play tennis from like the youngest age. Like people normally start when they're like 2 years old. Nick didn't really do that. He didn't really focus on the game in the same way. He comes in, he's playing against Rafael Nadal, one of the greatest of all time, at one of the biggest tournaments ever. He beats him, and everyone in the world is like, wait, who's this kid? And then he just proceeds to like play the game the way nobody has ever played it. I mean, like he like hits the ball behind his back. He hits it through his legs. He'll like, and then also he's got a lot of personality. You know, he reminds me in many ways of John McEnroe, but less rude. I know that sounds like a crazy thing to say about John McEnroe, and I liked him for that. But like John McEnroe had that like, yeah, your mother, you goddamn, yeah, right. You know what I mean? Which I loved. But Nick is just like, he's an emotional player who's changing the sport. And one of the biggest things he's changing in the sport is the fact that he seems to not care. He plays tennis and then he goes home. He has almost no passion for it, which really pisses people off, by the way. There's a lot of people who are like, you should be grateful, young man, for having... And he's just like, nope, it's my job. And that's it.
All you have to do is appreciate a good villain. He's not a villain, but like in the game of tennis, there are heroes or people that are like held to that standard. And then Nick comes in and people can't deal with it. And I live for it. Live for it.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Can I tell you what makes Nick so amazing, in my opinion, is that like any great villain that is written into a story, you actually come to find that they're not the quote unquote bad guy. Mm-hmm. Like I often think whenever I'm watching a movie or I'm reading a really well written story, there's a moment in the story where you go, oh wait, is this the villain? And I think in many ways, Nick Kyrgios is painted as the villain, but the more you get to know him, his life, and the sport, you're like, maybe tennis is the villain.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's kind of like how Disney recently has been reframing villains, like Maleficent gets her own story, and you realize, hey, she had a reason to spurn that little baby in the bassinet. And Nick has his reasons for, making people clutch their pearls at the US Open.
Yeah. So I'm really, really fascinated to speak to him because, one, he's a maverick in tennis. 2, he's one of the most genuine people you'll ever have a conversation with. And 3, I think the sport needs him if it hopes to survive what is going to be one of its biggest transitions from the legends like Roger Federer and, Nadal and, Djokovic and all of these legends. As they slowly age out of the game, there's only going to be one name that gets new people in to watch tennis, and it's going to be Nick Kyrgios. So I'm really excited. I don't even want to waste more of your time. Let's jump into it. Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios, what's going on, my dude?
Nothing much. Just touched down back in Australia and spending time with some my fam. Haven't seen them in a little bit, and just chilling.
You've been watching the NBA playoffs? Well, not the playoffs. It's weird. The in-season tournament. You've been watching it?
Yep. Yeah, loved it. Yeah, watched it. Thought it was a great idea. Great idea for the league.
It's funny. I saw like Kevin Durant. He said he hated the idea when he first saw it come out. And then even after he lost, he was like, this was the most exciting tournament they've played in a long time.
Yeah, that tends to be how it is. I mean, athletes, we get pretty stuck in our ways. So we don't like change. And then I guess, when it actually benefits the league, that we find out. And it was a good idea, I think, though.
Who's your team in the NBA? Because I know you've been a huge fan for a long time.
Yeah,
Boston through and through?
I'm a big Boston guy. Like,
why Boston?
Watch every single game. Don't know. I just in 2005 picked up my first video game and picked the Boston Celtics. Ever since then, just been a religious fan.
It's always interesting seeing how people become a fan of a team. I think I became a fan of many individual players in football because of European football, soccer, because of video games like playing FIFA.
Yeah,
and then what are you playing right now? You said you game.
Call of Duty.
Game?
Yeah, Call of Duty, Fortnite, Pokemon, everything. I'm just like I'm obsessed. I'm the biggest gamer.
How good are you?
I'm very good. Yeah,
like very, very good.
Yeah, like we call them sweaties or sweats.
Oh
like
wait, you're a sweat?
I'm a fucking sweat. Yeah.
What's your loadout on Call of Duty?
I'm trying to actually. I'm just gonna move this. I'm gonna show you my PC right now.
Right.
Look at my PC, bro.
Oh, nice. Is that water cooled? What is that?
Yeah, it's like it's just beautiful. Like very over the top. And look, you can see
that's beautiful. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
I'm bowing.
You've got the GeForce in there. I like that.
I just
customized CPU. Yeah. You've got the LEDs.
See,
you've got everything else going.
You're a sweat too, bro. What the hell?
No, I'm not a sweat. I wish I was.
Yeah,
a sweat.
you are. No, you are, bro. You are. You got that anonymous name online that you're like beating on like 12-year-old kids.
Genuinely, I wish I was a sweat. I only started playing Warzone in the pandemic. I've always been like a FIFA player. That's been my
fun though.
Warzone's great. Warzone's great.
How good is
Warzone's great. Yeah, but then once my KD went above 1.1, then it stopped being fun because I got put in lobbies with sweats.
Sweaty.
And then it's not fun anymore.
That's so funny, bro. That's so good.
Yeah, then it's not funny anymore. It's not cool. Now I'm just like, oh no. I want to be in like the low KD.
The normal, not the standard. Like
0.45 is a good game to be playing. That's like a nice day, a nice adventure.
So funny.
Was there a tennis person you were a fan of when you got into the sport? Because your story is interesting in that, like, it seems like from everything I hear about you, everything I've read about you, it doesn't seem like Nick Kyrgios was that into sport until he got into sport. Is this true or is this just a myth?
Yeah, I didn't really like sport that much growing up. And then I think my mum, eventually saw I was pretty chubby and I wasn't active that much as a kid. And she was kind of like, all right, let's start doing some stuff. She just took me down to the local tennis center and fair to say I hated it. I didn't like tennis at all. And then, I loved basketball, fell in love with basketball.
Yeah.
And then played both. But I didn't really have any role models either growing up, like in the sporting world. Like I didn't really watch that much sport. I was like big into video games. Actually took like my studies really seriously. And then, just had no real role models. And then I kind of fell in love with basketball players now as I was playing tennis, and there were two conflicting sports. Right. And obviously I've been absolutely shredded for, my personality or the way I go about things in tennis because it's a very, in the box type of sport. So I didn't really have any role models, but I guess that's been part of the journey. So it's been pretty cool though.
Yeah, it's an interesting journey to go on, because like, how does somebody get into a sport? How do they become good at the sport, and why that sport? Like, I don't think people understand how unlikely it was for you to get into tennis. You know,
Yeah, it was very unlikely.
You were what, 13, 14 when you got into the sport?
I played at 7 years old was my when I picked up a racket. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's basically
why tennis? Did your mom ever say why tennis?
Well, in Australia, tennis is like one of our biggest sports. It's cricket and tennis.
What about Aussie rules? There was no Aussie rules.
Yeah, I know, but I can't really. No, I can't buy into a sport that's not played out of Australia. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a joke, to be honest. On the record.
Who was your Who was your biggest player back then? I'm trying to think of Australian.
Leighton Hewitt, Pat Rafter, Leighton Hewitt.
Yeah,
we had like
a
pretty rich culture in it, and then like my local tennis center is like literally 2 minutes away, so that was, I guess it was easy for them. But I absolutely hated it.
What did you hate about the sport? What was the thing you hated most?
I just didn't like it. I just didn't like. I just didn't feel. I never feel like I could express myself the way I wanted to, and then I realized that I could later on in my career and really like shit stir people.
Right.
Yeah. Just look. I mean, look. I didn't really grow up with like, you know, in a rich family or anything, so I knew I was very soon to realize that it was a way to kind of help my family and help my friends and provide for my people and build a life for like, far beyond myself. So that's when I realized that, you know, that was a kind of journey that I had to kind of do. Because like to say I would make it at NBA, I don't think I would. So it was just an easier route for me, I guess, to make it out.
Did that add a lot of pressure to it though? Like when you're playing a sport that's not just a sport, it's something that supports your family, can lift your family out of the place they're in. I mean, doesn't that come with an extra amount of pressure that the other kids don't have?
Definitely, I think for sure. But I guess the cool thing about my childhood is I didn't know any different. My mum and dad always made me feel like I had enough, and I had the best childhood. Like I didn't know that I was, you know, didn't have a lot. But I got hit with a lot of pressure and expectation early. As soon as I was 17, 18, I kind of broke onto the scene. That's when, I mean, Australia kind of put this, I mean, like the weight on my shoulders for an 18-year-old, I think, you know, to look back at it, I think I did pretty well with dealing with it. But it's not normal for someone that young to deal with the spotlight and the fame and the pressure, especially with social media and all this bullshit that comes with it. It's like mental, like people wonder why I am the way I am. I'm like, it's just my experiences of what I went through kind of, you know, made me a bit like my screws are a bit loose, I think.
I always wonder that. I remember talking to some friends about this, about the age we grew up in and then the age that people grow up in now. And I was like, do you ever take for granted? You know, I remember when like Justin Bieber was blowing up, and I mean, Justin Bieber's obviously a lot younger than me. And, you know, and I would think to myself, I go, we're judging this kid, but if you took away his fame, he's a child. Do you know what I mean? It was literally like it's news headlines about a child. And I would say to my friends all the time, I go, do you remember the amount of shit that we would get up to at that age? But there's no journalism. There's no reports are coming after you. You're just a kid getting up to shit. It's between you, your parents, and maybe the school. Yeah. You know, but I can't imagine what it was like for you at that age, being seen as not just a professional athlete, but as you say, like a bastion of Australian sport. Like 1 minute you're just Nick, and the next thing you know, you're the face of tennis in Australia and quickly in the world, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was hard because I actually was just a normal kid. Like I was still at school. I had my school friends. I would just be doing normal kid things, and then I would live this alternate life of like carrying the burden of Australian sport, trying to win a Grand Slam, playing Federer, playing Nadal, and I'm just like, I didn't really take it very serious. And I guess that's what I kind of got smashed for, was like, oh, you're doing this and you're lucky to do this. And I never saw it as I was lucky to do it. Like I worked every single day to get to where I was. Yeah. Like, so people are like, oh, you're so extremely blessed to be there. And which I am. Like, I guess I'm not saying like a bit of luck was needed to get there as well. But it's not like I just picked my hand in a hat and pulled out, like professional tennis player. That's why I just can't stand people like, oh, your life must be like, it's like, bro, it was like a lot of hard yards to get here. But yeah, it's just like, it was crazy. I just, like, I didn't take myself seriously enough. Like I saw my name on the list of like Federer and Nadal, like these gods of sport. And I just saw my name there. I was just like, what a joke. Like I was like, it's all a joke.
were they your heroes growing up, or was it still all basketball for you? It was just you were like in an office. It sounds like to me. It's like you worked at like an accounting firm. It's essentially, you know what I mean? It's like a job.
Yeah, I was just at school. I was just chilling, like, and then I just like started beating these players, and then I guess in a way it was good, but like it wasn't good because then I kind of lost a bit of respect for like, because people idolize these people, and I was like, yeah, I beat them at 18 and 19. And I was like, well, anyone can do it then. Like if I can do it, anyone can do it. And then people like, oh, you should be. And then it was like the rat race of things like, oh, you should win our Grand Slams, or you should. And I was like, that was never my goal. It was never my intention to go out there and be like Roger. It was like to show people that someone like me from the small town could go out there and compete and beat some of these like, I mean, gods, in my opinion. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation with Roger Federer about you. And it was Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Bill Gates was hosting a charity tennis tournament in Cape Town in South Africa. And we're just chatting about the whole game. And your name came up. And man, I wish you could see the eyes of the players when they're talking about you. The one thing that Roger kept on saying, which was almost frustrating to him when he said it, was he's like, this kid is effortless. He's like, this guy he was like, what Nick does in tennis when he's not trying is what all of us work our asses off to try to do. Do you get that from the other athletes in the sport? Because I mean, let's forget about the press and everybody for a moment. Like people write out their asses all the time. Everybody thinks they know a sport from the outside. Everyone has opinions. But I always find if you want some of the truest opinions, you go into the sport, you talk to the people who actually do it every single day, and they'll give you a different understanding. Like, did you get that feeling from the other tennis pros that they felt like you came with something special? Just in the way you struck the ball, the way you understood the ball, the way you played the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got told a lot from other athletes and Roger and stuff like, past players were saying like, oh, he's the most talented. And then I guess, I don't know when I kind of lost, not lost interest, but I guess kind of just, I didn't take it that seriously. I never really fully bought in, I think, to the process of like, tennis being like really, really important. Like I still today sit here and I don't think it's that important. Like I know
it's not number one on your list.
It's not.
Right?
It's just not. It's just like it's been a great vehicle for me to meet you, for instance, to meet all these beautiful people, all these cultures, and live this life. But I never really said like, I'm not going to introduce myself as, I'm Nick Kyrgios, tennis player. I've done this, and this. Like I just never really thought it was that serious. And like you look at Roger and Novak and Nadal, like. I'm not saying they're doing it wrong. Like they've bought into the process and they've become, champions and whatever. But I just think I'm just not that personality. Like I love gaming. I love hanging out with my friends. I love feeling normal. I love going to get a coffee. And then if I'm playing some pro tennis on the side, that's great. But like, it's like, I'm not willing to sacrifice these other things that make me really, really happy.
You know, it's funny. You didn't just play tennis in like one of the whitest sports. You also grew up in one of the whitest countries. Like I've been to Australia a bunch doing shows. Yeah. I think Australia is one of the most fun countries I've ever been to.
It's amazing, yeah.
But damn, Australia doesn't know how to talk about race or anything that is not like stock standard white Australian.
They're pretty racist down here. They are. You can just say it. Like it's okay. You were just like working around me.
I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah, but no, you were just.
I'm not going to be. I'm not going to go out there and just like no. Hey man, it's not my country to say that about.
It is very. I'll tell you firsthand. I've dealt with it. It's fine. It's horrific down here.
Have you seen a change over the years?
I think it's getting worse. I think it's getting worse everywhere, to be honest. I don't know. The world frustrates me. The world frustrates me.
In what way?
Everyone's just trying to just split everyone up. Like humans actually are capable of doing some good things when they work together, but no one wants to work together for some reason. Everyone's just putting each other down.
I agree with a lot of that.
Yeah, everyone's just trying to like separate everyone. It's either this or that. It's like, why can't people have different opinions and just respect that? And then I don't know. It's so weird. I just try not to think about it because it drives me insane.
Do you think some of that came to you from growing up in a mixed family? Because for me, one of the main things I had to do growing up. So my dad's Swiss, my mom is Xhosa from South Africa. I grew up in South Africa, but I had to learn different languages, different accents, different cultures, So in my household, there was no like right way to do something. There were just different ways to do the thing to get to the right outcome. Does that make sense? 100%. So I always grew up in a world where I was like, I was like, I mean, I think I'm right, but maybe you're right from your point of view. And
100%. I think growing up with my household, there was, I think that's, most Aussies, like really Aussie families, they're not like super family orientated. They're not like, we're like me. Like I speak to my parents pretty much every day. They send me videos when I'm traveling. Like I have to be around people who are really close to their family and like, I just can't, I don't know, like some of my friends like, I haven't spoken to my mum in like 3 weeks. I'm like, bro, I actually I need to be away from you. Like that's not normal. Anyway. Like that's not normal.
Your mom seems like a really interesting woman. Like, first of all, I read, and you never know how much of this is true. I read that she's like a princess.
Yeah, she was part of the royal family in Malaysia, but I don't know what royalty it was because we were broke. I would have loved for it to be royal. I would have loved. But yeah, she was part of a royal family in Malaysia, and she came to Australia. And yeah, how the story of how my mum met my dad was crazy because my dad came by boat from Greece when he was 6. So like just a crazy story. Like I don't know, they both came from crazy backgrounds.
Yeah, I don't think I know many Malaysian Greek mixes.
Yeah, it's
to
just
be honest
odd.
with you.
Like my dad just came by boat. My mum basically, I don't know how my mum came. She probably swam. I don't know what kind of form of transport she had.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, wild. So I don't know.
Who's more of their culture? Your mom or your dad? Like, is your dad more Greek than your mom is Malaysian?
Oh no, they're both super in their roots. Like my dad's super Greek. Like meets every old Greek stereotype you've ever.
So what does he call? Does he call you Nikos? Does he call you
Nico?
What does he?
They call me Nick, but
Nico.
Nico. But like he will like Greeks old school Greeks never pay full price for anything. Like he'll bargain. We'll be like at a jewelry store or anything. He's like trying to bargain. I'm like, Dad, we can't do that here. My mum is just like we got a lot of relatives from Malaysia, and my dad's Greek roots. But that's the cool thing about it. Like people can be successful from like anywhere. And any like from anywhere, literally, and it's cool. My roots are pretty special.
We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break. I remember watching you at a tennis tournament once, and I was watching you play, and I was chatting to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Why do you think Nick doesn't like tennis?" And I remember there was a really cool interview that I saw once. It was a Tottenham Hotspur football player, right, in England. Yep. And I think he was left back or right back at the time, and his name slips my mind, but I will never forget. They were interviewing him about the game, and he said, I don't watch football. He said, I don't watch football. Yep. I don't care about football. I don't have a favorite team. This is just what I do for a job. And the people were almost offended. They were like, "How can you say that? You play in the Premier League. This is amazing." Yeah. And he said, "Hey, was your dad a fan of the company he worked for?" He's like, "Was your dad a fan of the job? Was your mom a fan of the place where she worked?" He's like, "It's my job. I get some people have it as a passion, but it's my job." And when we were watching you play, I said to my friend, just watching you and your vibe, I said, "I feel like Nick Kyrgios is a team player stuck in an individual sport." That's what I feel sometimes when I watch you.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up playing basketball. I much prefer team sports, team environments, big time. I love losing together and winning together and having that camaraderie and being on the road and all that. I much prefer it more than like, and people are like, yeah, but what about when you win? I'm like, yeah, it feels good, but I prefer to just be my I don't know. I'm just a big team guy. I don't know what it is, but that's just me. Like I can't. Tennis players are really selfish.
You even see it when you played in the doubles. I mean, it seemed like you had more fun playing doubles than you've ever had playing singles.
Yeah, big time. I love playing doubles. A bit less pressure, but at the same time, I just feel like it's more rewarding to do it with someone else. I love doubles, man. Doubles is a lot of fun.
Did you grow up with your siblings? How many siblings do you have?
Yeah, I got 2 older siblings. We grew up together. Yeah.
Right. I sometimes wonder if it's that. You know, I talk to a lot of athletes, and especially athletes in the individual sports. The ones who grew up as only children almost didn't mind being in an individual sport because that was the only place they got to see other kids. And then people who grew up in homes where they had like a bustling family and siblings, they felt lonely when they went out on the road. Because tennis, I've heard, is one of the loneliest sports. I don't know if you'd agree.
It definitely is. Like, I mean, especially me being from Australia, early in my career, I was traveling like 6-7 months of the year.
Yeah.
Hotel to hotel, week in, week out, not seeing family and friends. It was hard, yeah, definitely. Especially at that young. Like, it's a hard transition. And no sport's like that. Like, every sport kind of has a routine and you kind of know where you're going, where tennis is like you might lose and then you got to fly to the next place, or you might win, have to hang around and you're playing, you don't know what time you're playing, you don't know how long a match could go for. There's a lot of variables. That's why I think Novak is the best athlete in the world, because his ability to adapt is like no other. Like every one of the other athletes in the world, like has no, like they know when they're going to start, they know when they're going to finish, they know how many games they're going to play. Where like Novak, like he's got to go to Asia, different time zone, different food, different diet, and then you go to Europe, and then different food again, different time zone, doesn't know when he's going to play, and then America, and then Australia, and it's like, how does this guy adapt to every single scenario put in front of him and still come out the best is incredible.
Yeah, I actually never thought about the fact that in tennis you don't know how long a match is.
Yeah, it could be an hour and a half, it could be 5 hours. So it's like I've played matches that have gone under an hour, and then I've played for 2 hours. I mean, and then I played for 5 hours nearly. And then it's like, and then I might have to travel across the world to play the same thing again with a different diet. It's crazy. Tennis is nuts. So like, that's why I think Novak for me, people don't really know that about tennis though. Like they don't, and the schedule, like you don't know when you're going to start playing. Like you're just
what do you
followed
mean?
by. So like a match starts at 11 and then you're just followed by. So it's like, there's no direct time when you're going to start.
You don't actually know when you're going to start playing.
Half the time, more than half the time, you don't even know when you're going to start. So like you don't know when to eat. You don't know when to when you're going to finish. It's hard to plan. It's insane.
Yeah, this doesn't seem ideal, and it seems even less ideal if it's not your ultimate passion in life.
Yeah, exactly. It's stressful. Yeah, when you do stuff that I mean, it's definitely caused a lot of stress in my life. But again, I can understand that it's opened up a lot of doors for me as well.
Yeah, no, look, I think everything in life has a blessing and a curse attached to it. I remember there was a time in stand-up comedy when as comedians, we would talk a lot about this backstage. Comedy, I would say before social media and in many moments, comedy was a really lonely, and it can be a very lonely, profession in that we're on the road. When you start off, you're by yourself. You've got a bag, you fly to some random place somewhere in the world. You do comedy there for a week and then you fly somewhere else. It's similar to tennis, just, the crowds aren't the same. And there was a period where a lot of comedians were committing suicide. And we'd always hear these stories. You'd be like, yo, did you hear about Mike? What happened? I'd be like, yeah, Mike committed suicide in a hotel in some random place in the world. And it was always like the same sad story. On the road, by themselves. And then, that was it. That was the last time we'd hear of that comedian. And we would talk about this and we say it's such a solitary experience. It's such a solitary existence. And at some point you go, what am I even doing this for? And when I've seen you've been very public about like the mental aspect of the game, and which I've appreciated, by the way. Yourself, Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka. It's like the first generation of superstar athletes who aren't afraid to say, hey, I put myself before the sport.
Yeah, I mean, it's important because I was close to, I was in a very dark time and I was close to, I was feeling the exact same way. I was like, what am I doing this for? Like, I hate, because I was two completely different people. I was like Nick Kyrgios and then I had to turn into someone else. And that was the only thing that people cared about was that Nick that I had to turn into, and that entertainer. And then when I was normal, no one gave a shit. So I was like, this is tough. Like I was like, I'm tired and I'm doing it week in, week out. And I was alone on the road and I was like, drinking, drugs, partying, and then being out till like 5 a.m., then playing the next day. And it was just like, it was a big dark depression that I was in. And no one, like, just because I was winning tennis matches, it seemed to just be okay. Everyone was like, okay, he's fine then. And I was like, that's what's dangerous, is that people just will get up and continually go because they have to go, but they're really not okay. And then Naomi was the first kind of person that I was seeing taking time away from the sport. Like she stepped away from the French Open. Everyone was like, oh, how could you? Like, it's a privilege to be there. I'm like, bro, she earned her right to be in the French Open. If she doesn't want to play for mental health, that's up to her. And then I saw that and that opened my eyes. I was like, holy shit, someone's actually doing it.
Wow.
And then, because I was going through that for ages before she did it. And then I told her, I was like, you helped me, because maybe if I kept going, like I wouldn't be here right now, because that's how bad it was. And then I've just now completely shortened my schedule. I only play when I want to play. I only do what I want to do. And I was like, and then I end up doing things with more purpose anyway. Like this interview, like there was a time where I used to do this type of stuff and hate what I was doing, and I never even enjoyed doing things like this, but now I'm doing everything with a purpose, and it ends up actually being more rewarding. So it's like athletes doing that. And when I put it on social media, the best thing about it is people still reach out to me today when they're just like, oh, can I, have some advice? And I get people's numbers and I talk to them on the phone and I WhatsApp. I don't even know these people, but I just help them. And it's like, that's the coolest thing about it. Like just opening up. I mean, I'm helping so many people.
Did you have anyone that you leaned on, either inside or outside of the sport, when you were going through it? Because you're this young kid who blows up. The world is on your shoulders. You are considered a professional. I mean, before you're even an adult, really. Like, did you have anyone you leaned on? Was there anyone who really helped you through these tough times?
It was such a shock to the system, I think, for my family and my friends, because no one had ever done something like I'd done. Like it was just not heard of that anyone around where I'm from like blew up globally and did something, and it was just hard. No, I didn't have anyone. They had no idea what I was going through. They had, they was just like, oh, you're making good money, so that's it. It's just like there was so much more stuff that came with it than that really affected me, because I was such a normal person. Like I wasn't like, I hate the fame. I hate all that I think it's a joke. And I hated it. And then I had no one to kind of lean on. And then I had some people, like even Andy Murray in the locker room was like, bro, are you okay? Like I had some other people like kind of seeing like what I was going through. And then I seeked help, and I just got myself out of it, to be honest. But I didn't really, and that was hard. That was really hard. I didn't feel, every time I tried to confide in someone that I knew, they had no idea what I was going through. So it was really hard.
When you were working with Naomi Osaka,
yep.
I saw a few clips of you guys going viral, you and her talking about some aspects of the game.
Yep.
She's somebody who I feel like has a natural connection with you for multiple reasons. You're both these professionals who came from worlds where you were mixed, where you almost always didn't fit in, but then found a place that you did fit in, but it wasn't necessarily your number one passion, but you're both amazingly good at it. When the two of you are together, like what do you find Naomi brings out in you that that maybe you haven't found when you connected with other players early on in your career?
Yeah, just that she's really struggled to fit in. I think the sport, like I find comfort when she was on my show as well. Yeah. And we had a really good chat, and just like, she had a lot of questions for me in that sense. She's like, how do you deal with it? Because, you've had a lot of backlash. And I think we both just find that common ground in like, we're so different in when we came into the sport. We were like the black sheep and we just really trying to find our way. And we had a sea of fans, but then we had a sea of people that didn't like the way we went about things. And it was like, she was like really, like, we both don't give enough credit to ourselves. I think like she's won 4 Grand Slams. She's beaten everyone. And I'm like, you do realize you've achieved a lot. She's like, like I've achieved a little bit. And I'm like, we both really struggle to give ourselves credit. And I think we kind of find comfort in each other, because it's like, we're almost, we're like, I feel like if I had a comparison on the women's tour, it would be her. I haven't achieved anything of what she's achieved. She's achieved 3 times as much, but it's like, I can see the way she looks uneasy at the courts. Like I see her walking around, I'm like, she's just not in her environment. She's always walking with headphones on, trying to disassociate. And I'm just like, that's me. But like, she's just really, really internal. Her coping mechanisms to go in her shell, where mine is actually to just be crazy, where it's like, that's the only difference. But yeah, I've learned a lot from her as well, which is good.
Sometimes I think to myself, when I watch athletes break into a sport, one of the things that plays through my head is the understanding of the sports culture versus that athlete's culture. In England, for instance, a lot of people don't know that like footballers are considered like from the working class and lower class. It's not like a prestigious sport in the country. Rugby is up there, cricket's up there. That's considered that's the sport that the prince would play, for instance. And you see it change around the world. tennis, from the time I was in school in South Africa, tennis was the sport that like the richer kids could play. Like I remember seeing the price of a Wilson racket. Like when I played tennis, I had one of those, the wooden, you know what I mean? Our school gave us those wooden ones with the long handle. Yeah. That's all I could play with. And then like these kids would come to school and they'd have like their Wilsons and they would have like all the kits and everything. There was no dream of affording that. So we couldn't continue playing tennis. But because of who's in the sport, there's also a cultural aspect that the sport dictates. And if you don't follow that culture, you're seen as being, you know, a bad boy, a rowdy person. Like half of the things people criticize you for, I sometimes go, you realize if Nick was playing another sport, this would just be an athlete. That's what people would say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've had conversations like if I played NFL, NBA, like I'd probably be the cleanest and nicest guy in the locker room.
Yeah, they'd be like, quiet Nick. That's what they'd say.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how I am. I'm actually very internal and I'm an introvert when I'm off the court. Like I don't like doing too much and saying too much. So it's like, what you nailed it on the head. Like the things I'm doing, like throwing a racket or like a snippet of throwing a racket. So, but the thing about it is, like, I play for 4 hours and they choose to show a clip that goes for like 5 seconds and then broadcast it over the biggest media platforms in the world. And then obviously that's how you're going to brainwash the majority of people that haven't watched the 4-hour match, but they've watched the 5 little second clip. Oh, how could you do this every day? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and that becomes a narrative and that just grows legs. And then it's like, oh, he does it all. It's like, bro, you guys don't know who I am at all. And it's like, tennis is a white privileged sport. That's how it was when I was like the first. I guess there was a couple in the sport before me, but there wasn't many. And now there's so many. There's Tiafoe, Osaka, Shelton, Kyrgios. Like, it's amazing. And it's like, I don't feel as alone and as alienated anymore as I did when I came up, because I was like, I walked in the locker room, I was like, bro, there is no one here that I fuck with at all. I was like, what is this place? It was cold. No one talked with each other. There was no like friendships. I was like, this is brutal. And then now it's like, I walk in there and you see people on the court, like, they've got passion, they've got personality, their culture, they're bringing different sides of the sport. And now we embrace it. And I'm like, dude, when I came through, I was like, you guys painted me as if I was like a murderer. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, there were some articles that I was like, all I'm doing is just being me and bringing my personality to the sport. And I'm getting absolutely, and it's kind of given me a sour taste of tennis, to be honest. Like, I don't think about tennis in a good way. I think it's a very shallow, and they haven't embraced personalities, and it's dangerous because some people like me, like, it was hurtful and I did struggle with it. So, and I know in other sports like NBA or, you know, rugby or soccer, like, there's so many different personalities and everyone's kind of, it's like, that's how it should be. Like, it's just like, we're so past, like, just, tennis is, I hate it. Like, honestly.
You know, I understand why you hate it, but in a selfish way, as a fan of the sport, I am grateful for you. I hate that you went through those experiences, but in a selfish way, I'm grateful for you, because I don't think tennis realized how much it needs Nick Kyrgios. I don't think tennis realized how much it needs to be unpredictable, how much it needs to be personality, how much it needs to be like, you know, when you look at the, you know, the tennis stadiums themselves, you go from country to country. I've only watched a Grand Slam in New York, and I've watched one in Paris, so Roland Garros. And I'm trying to think if I've done one more, maybe, I'm not sure. But all of the stadiums have different personalities. And the commentators in the tennis world celebrate that. They go, oh, Roland Garros, this is the attitude. And, Wimbledon is very posh. And New York is very like lively and fun.
And then as soon as you get a different one on court, it's like, oh, why are you acting like that? It's
exactly.
Like, well,
I never understood why they didn't celebrate that as a concept. I look at how John McEnroe brought people into the sport because of how crazy he was.
Yep. Yeah, he was nuts. And then, he got, I feel like, then he retired and now he's an absolute legend. It's like, oh, you should have embraced him while he was here type thing. But I feel like that's for me. I feel like now I'm getting more embraced when I'm getting to like the later stages of my career. And it's like, would have helped if I got embraced earlier on, because I probably wouldn't have obviously had those dark periods in time. I probably would have been in better physical condition. I probably would have adored the sport more and tried a little bit harder to get the best out of myself. But now, I look back at it and it just caused so much dark and negative and stress and on me, my family. It just wasn't a nice, I don't look back at it as a nice period of my life. And I think people always ask me like, oh, how long do you want to play for? I was like, oh, I'll probably play for another year or two. And they're like, oh, why not? I'm just like, because I don't look back at it and smile. I look back at it and I'm like, it makes me almost sad and upset in my career. And that's just something that it is what it is. Like I can't change it, but it's not what you want to hear from an athlete that's dedicated his whole life towards.
Do you ever think of you? I know this is going to sound crazy. You should do like a party year before you leave.
A what?
Just have like a party year, like a party, like bring all your friends. Just make it as much of a party as you can before. Like don't leave.
But all my friends can't travel like all the time. They got
you know what? Let me tell you something. Once you announce it as like the retirement year,
they'll be a part of it. You reckon?
Yeah, they gotta make it a thing. Find a sponsor. Get the sponsor to pay for like their salary for like a year. Make it like a reality show.
That'd be sick.
Go out there, like go out with a bang. Like I feel like why let the sport leave you? You know what I mean? You leave the sport the way you want to leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a pretty mental idea.
Can I tell you the most fun I ever had? Like some of the most depressing, quiet moments in my life have been, and not good quiet, have been on the road doing comedy, like a slog. Exactly what you're saying. Yeah. I'll be in some random rainy town in England. This was years ago in my career. It's just me in like a hotel room that's underground, because you know some hotels they have that somehow. I don't know. The first floor is like under the the surface of the street.
Don't know how that works.
You know what I mean? And dude, and I would be so just like depressed and tired and all of it. And the one thing I do now for myself is I will make my environment the biggest community possible. So if you see me on tour in India, if you see me anywhere, I'm like, yo, man, I roll with my people. The tour is almost secondary to me living my life with my people. And it's changed everything. Even the worst tour becomes the best tour.
I think that's what I did last year. Like that was the best year of my life. And I kind of looked at it in a different light. I was like, okay, I'm going to look at it as like, I'm going on a holiday with my partner and my team. And then I'm playing a bit of tennis. And then I had the best year of my life. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're onto something there.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Because here's the thing, and you'll tell me if I'm wrong. It feels like you think of retiring as a moving, as it doesn't feel like a constant measure. You know, when other athletes speak of retiring, so when Roger would speak about retiring, I remember him. He would always talk about his body, and it was the end. I could see Roger talking about that. They would have a timeline, and I think COVID robbed him of a few years that we could have celebrated with him.
Yeah.
But like when I look at you, I can see there's a lot of it that's like, it's not Nick's body. It feels like it's Nick's mind and Nick's heart that wants to take a break and get out of it, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Like my body now is obviously, I've had a couple surgeries by 28 and like I never really wanted to get to a point in my career where I did that because I want to have a family one day and be active and play with them and run around.
Right.
But yeah, it's more so I'm just a bit like, I guess just, I don't know, there's a bit of tennis that stings every time I think about it, and that's not, it's like I don't, I mean, look, I'll come back and when I'm healthy and I'll play and I'll entertain for another year or two, but after that, I think that's it.
Let's go back to, when you were saying you were painted as this bad boy, I would love to know, how do you feel about the title bad boy? Do you like it? Because from the outside, sometimes people, no, you don't.
No, I don't like it because it's like a reputation that I've had to kind of like fight against my entire life. Just like every time I meet a person or go out in public or, for instance, my partner, when I met her, she thought I was arrogant. She thought I was maniacal. She thought I was like volatile. She thought I was like, just like a bad person. And I was like, I've just been fighting against this reputation my entire life, and I'm actually the exact opposite. Like, I don't take myself seriously at all. I'm literally the calmest person you've ever met.
Yeah.
I'm very low maintenance. Like, I'm selfless. I'm not selfish at all. Like every tennis player is. Like, I'm like, and it's been hard. Like, people don't even hear me out, and it's just like, I hate it because it's like, it's been tough, definitely. But unfortunately, that's really the only Nick that they care about. So it's like, it's hard.
I don't know if you still do this, but I remember hearing once that you coached yourself. Was that true?
Yeah, I haven't had a coach for like 6-7 years now.
Well, was part of that because you didn't want to be coached out of being yourself, or was it just because you don't work well with a coach?
I guess I just think that my way is the best, and no one knows me as well as I do. Like I'll hold myself accountable when I do something stupid. No one knows my game the way I know my game. I know what I need to improve on. I know what my strengths are, but also it's just a waste of money in my opinion. And like these coaches are like charging like 150 to 200 grand a year. I'm like, for what? Like you stand there and like I do my own study. Like I can just go to YouTube right now and look at every single player's strengths and weakness, study their game, watch hours of film and do all that side of things tactically. I know what my technique's absolutely fine. I'm not going to pay someone 200 grand to just travel the world and just stand on court with me and just like, oh, you do this. Okay, that's 200 grand worth of advice. Like, amazing.
Yeah.
Hell no. Like, what the that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you see this, but this is even crazier to me. The fact that you win anything is even wilder to me now, because I'm just like you're an anomaly. You're a people talk about a natural talent, but you are truly an anomaly. You can't play at the highest level of any sport without a coach and do what you do.
You can. You
think so?
It's simple. Like the biggest lie we've all been told, it's not that simple. It really is. It's very simple.
I feel like this is Superman lifting a bus, being like, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. You just got to lift with your knees. You just got to lift with your legs.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
When Nick Kyrgios looks at his life apart from the game, I know. Are you still dealing with an injury now?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. When you get these injuries, do you actually know when you're coming back, or is it all just speculation?
It just depends what kind of injury it is. Obviously, like if it's a rolled ankle, but I've had some surgeries and I'm just trying to get back. There was I had a bit of a wrist thing and it was kind of bothering my everyday life. Like I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't put salt on my steak. Like it was getting to a point where I was like, okay, it was affecting my everyday life. And it wasn't even about tennis. People were like, oh, how are you on the court? I was like, dude, it wasn't even on the court. Like I was like struggling to be without pain in my day life. So I had to get it done.
Damn.
And now I don't really have like a timeline. I'm just going to come back. I feel like I've got so much stuff that I can focus on in the meantime that it's just like, I'm going to do this right, take my time, come back whenever I want. I got a protected ranking of 21, so I can come back and play whatever I want to play. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Like I'm going to enjoy my life in the meantime. Like and enjoy it, do my rehab and that's it. Like I wouldn't be having this conversation with you probably if I was healthy at the moment. I'd be probably
because
training.
You'd be back out there doing your thing.
Yeah, but I'd be in a bad mood. I would be training and I'd be miserable and then I'd be like, no, I'm not doing this call. Like, and now, do you know what I mean? So it's like there's positives to everything.
Yeah, I really wonder how long it's going to take for us to get to the place where we acknowledge that athletes are human beings and we don't own them in their entirety outside of the sport. Because we're watching you perform the sport, like that is the action. And there's this pervasive idea that athletes are owned off the court or off the field.
Like you should be doing this.
We want you. And then as soon as you express emotion about being wanted, people are angry at you. They're like, oh, what do you mean he's tired? What do you mean he's not having a good day?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, you said it.
Let's talk about a bit of just something like your personal life, like as Nick. You've been really open and really vulnerable, which for me flies in the face of this idea of you being an asshole. To me, it seems like you are somebody who occasionally loses their temper or shows their emotion while playing a sport, which by the way, again, is normal in most sports. But when you force to wear like white shorts, yeah, it is.
Like we're human, so aren't we supposed to feel? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I hope that will change in tennis, man. I really hope it will. Because I think if the sport's not careful, it will start to become a vestige of itself. It'll just become like this, remember when the Williams sisters
but as soon as Nadal and Djokovic goes anyway, the sport's going to struggle. They'll lose so many fans. I think, look, obviously with Sinner and Alcaraz coming up, but the way they've marketed the sport, there's not going to be as much interest anymore.
Yeah, you see, and that's what I mean. They can't afford to lose people like you. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, too bad. I've got plans.
What are your plans? Much longer. If you could wave a magic wand, what does Nick Kyrgios do?
I actually don't have plans. That's a lie. I don't. No? I'm not a planner. I just go day by day. I look back at. No, I just go back. I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't even know what I'm doing this afternoon. Honestly, I'm not a planner at all.
But what would you want to do? If you could do anything,
I honestly don't even want to think about it. Like I find happiness in the easiest of things. Like I just was so excited to just get up and be at home, like get a coffee, spend time with my mum. Like those things are just like the best things. I just want to do that for as long as I can.
I think with all the downsides as we talk about of the sport of tennis, I wonder if you have felt, because I could just be projecting this incorrectly, but obviously there are downsides to social media. Did you start to find a level of connection with people because of social media? Like, did you start to realize that Nick Kyrgios was touching hearts and minds all over the world in a way that you weren't aware of when you started playing?
Definitely. And I think that's that's what I'm doing now. Like, I've actually, funny you said it, like I'm starting my show called Good Trouble. I sit down one-on-one with some really interesting people. Like, I've done Mike Tyson, Gordon Ramsay, Gary Vee, Jay Shetty, and you know, they're all getting edited now, but I was filming that when I was in LA, and it's like we sit down intimately, and I didn't realize that I would be able to interview these people, first of all.
Right.
Social media was the biggest link of that. And then obviously tennis, if I wasn't good at tennis, I wouldn't have even had the platform to do it. But like, I've sat down with these people, these amazing entrepreneurs, athletes, chefs, and I'm like, they all seem to have like the same sort of, they do things with purpose. They've come from a super hard background. They're never satisfied, like ever.
Mm-hmm.
They're always like, I achieved something, I do more. And I'm like, when I speak to these people, I'm like, I sit there and I'm like, I did Rainn Wilson, by the way. And we chatted about like the comedy scene and people, you know, there was a lot of suicides. So when you were saying that, I was like, I was pretty fresh in my mind, but like, I was just like, how the hell is Nick Kyrgios sitting down here interviewing these people? And I'm like, my life with the social media and stuff, like I hated it, but then I'm like, dude, there's so many cool things that come from it. Like even this, for instance, like it's pretty powerful stuff. But I think you got to use it in the right way, definitely, because there's a lot of junk on it as well.
It's interesting. You've said it twice, and it says something to who you are. But like the fact that you say, "How is Nick Kyrgios in this situation? How is Nick Kyrgios speaking to that?" Do you ever acknowledge the fact that like people are thinking that about you?
No.
You know? Yeah. It's funny that you don't ever think that about yourself at all.
No. I just think it's weird that people want to talk to me. It's very weird. It's fucking weird.
Don't go anywhere, because we got more What Now after this. When you're playing, this is something I've always wanted to know, just as a selfish, for me, completely selfishly. How much does it affect you when like the fans or the people in the crowd are like talking or not talking?
So annoying.
Like, do you really?
So look, it's the timing of it. Like, if you want to come to a tennis game and cheer and be loud, like New York is so loud in Arthur Ashe Arena, it's so loud. But like, for instance, at Wimbledon or like at Oz Open and then or moments where you have to be quiet, like it's like between first or second serves or like in the middle of the point, like you can't. People, I think they just don't realize that like a little, especially in tennis, like 1 point can change the whole momentum of the match. Like the scoring system isn't like a basketball game or a soccer game. Like soccer's not a good example, but a soccer game, like you have to, I think people just, they might be drinking too much or whatever, but they kind of don't understand that there's a little bit of etiquette in tennis where it's like you have to just be quiet at certain moments, not all the time, but certain moments. And I think people just struggle with that sometimes,
because it can swing the entire game.
It can.
Whenever you're doing those trick shots, which, I think you've become even more famous for thanks to social media, TikTok and you name it. Like in those moments, I mean, I don't need to tell you this, but I will anyway. As a fan of the sport, I genuinely live for that moment, Nick.
Yeah.
I don't care whether it works or not.
Yeah,
I live for that moment because it feels unscripted, it feels original. Like when you're hitting those crazy trick shots to a fellow pro and you see them smiling and everything, like is that a moment where Nick's having fun on the court?
Yeah, it's just like that. That's like that's like a part that I look back on. I'm like, those were cool moments because it's just like my personality coming through. And I think when I see the youth kind of, going and doing that in their like small tennis center and they're trying to aspire to be like me, that's a real cool part about it. Like that's a bit of my personality where it's like, show yourself what you want and what you like, how you want to play in those moments. It's pretty cool.
Would you ever go into coaching?
I would, yeah. I mean, she's asked for a couple tips and couple things and I've helped her and a lot of players do. I think I'm a student of the game where like I'm really smart tactically and I feel like I can help a lot of players. So yeah, probably, maybe.
What would you do differently as a coach to what all the quote unquote, let's just call them mainstream coaches are doing? What do you think coaches miss?
I think most coaches miss like actually caring for the athlete and their well-being first. I think they care about the tennis first, most of them, and they don't really care about, okay, how's my player's life actually going? How, like, I would have to spend time with my student, I guess. I'd have to know what their tendencies are, what they like to do, how their personality is off the court. You know, I need to know how they I need to get to know them and care about them first, have that connection, make sure that's solid before I actually, because how are they going to listen to me, first of all, if I don't care about them and I gain that respect, they're not going to listen to me on the court. And I feel like that was something that I struggled with. Like I knew early in my career, people didn't really care about my well-being. Like I was paying them and they never hung out and they never really got to know me. And I was like, okay, so now they're showing up on the tennis court. I'm like, I can't do that. I can't do those relationships. So I guess I would just be there. Like I'd be early mornings with them, late nights, go through the ups and downs and get to know them as a person. And yeah, that would be the difference, I think.
I remember players at Inter Milan talking about Jose Mourinho.
Yep.
And a lot of the players were saying one of the reasons they regard him as one of the greatest coaches of all time is not because of what he does on the field, it's what he does off the field. They said he involves himself in every aspect of your life, like a real human being. He's like, how is your wife? How's your family? How are the kids? What's going on?
Most important.
Sometimes he would even let a player not play the game because he's like, hey, I get back home, you're struggling with a lot. And I often think about that with sport, like, are we doing a good job treating athletes like the human beings that they are, especially thinking about like the mental aspects of the game? Like, I don't know if you've ever read Zlatan Ibrahimovic's book, but in the book, he talks about, it's a really, really fantastic book. I'd recommend it if you haven't. He talks about how before one of the biggest matches of his career, he was dealing with the fact that him and his wife had lost like a child, and it was this, it was a painful story of him talking about his wife was pregnant and he has to go and play in a final and that's it. And all the fans care about is, did you score? Did you not score? You're dealing with this private thing that nobody knows about. No one gets to talk about it. I'd love to know, like, did you ever get therapy? Did anyone ever recommend it? Was it something that you were exposed to?
I've seen a lot of psychologists, and I went to this this psychological kind of rehab place in London. I was playing 2019 Wimbledon, and I went there and I went there, I sought a bit of help, and it was kind of like a scary time because I had to play Nadal the next day, and they were like, you should stay here for like a week or two. And I was like, I can't really do that because I got to play Nadal the next day. And that was when it was a big wake up call for me. I was like, shit, I need to kind of drive myself out of this period because no matter what I do, people are really not going to care about things I've got off the court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my grandmother, she passed away this year, and she was quite old. She lived a great life. She was like 94, I think, or 95. And that day, I was training and she'd passed away, and I was in Sydney and she was in Canberra, and my family were FaceTiming me and I was FaceTiming her. I was on the camera to her, watching her kind of, go through that phase of just, and then it's like, then I'm at a tennis center training and people come out with photos, and like, that was like, that's the kind of thing that people just don't get. Like it was my girlfriend's birthday as well. So it was my girlfriend's birthday. Like, my grandmother passed away, and I was training, and people just come up with photos, and it's like that sort of stuff takes so much of a toll on someone. It's like, sorry that I might be miserable the next day. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
right.
But people don't get that. They're like, oh, how arrogant of you not to take a photo. I'm like, dude, like I just, like 5 minutes ago, my grandma just passed. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't care about that.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. My grand passed away last year. Same thing. It's the same, like, and you don't want to, nor should you have to deal with it with strangers. Like, you don't want to tell everyone, oh, my grandmother just died. My grandmother just died.
Exactly. But then if you don't take a photo, it's like, oh, well, why are you so rude? I'm like, dude, all right, do you want to know? And then they, like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's that line. They only miss you when you're gone. It's that feeling.
Of course.
One aspect I definitely want to touch on before I let you go is your relationship. You've been really open, and it seems like you give a lot of credit to your partner for how she's helped you in your life. You've talked about her getting you out of the darkest moments, how she sees you when other people don't. I remember watching her at Arthur Ashe, if I'm not mistaken. It was like and like seeing how she sort of felt for you in some of the moments on the game.
Yeah.
Sometimes in the game, sometimes it even felt like you were just playing in front of her. It wasn't even about the rest of us. What's that relationship meant to you, and how easy is it to be in a relationship when you're in the position that you're in?
Oh, I mean, first of all, being in a relationship, I guess in anyone that's kind of in the limelight, it's not easy at all. Like it's really hard. You know, there's a lot of eyes on your relationship. There's a lot of people that have their opinions, and on social media they're commenting this or that, like a lot of garbage that gets kind of fueled into it, and then like obviously you know, following and liking and all this. And you know, I think the best thing about my relationship is that we have really nice, really good boundaries, and we both respect it, and we know that trust is really the only currency you have in a relationship. And once you break it, I think it's really hard to, especially in the limelight, once it's a little bit broken, it's really too hard to fix. But she's just present. I think that's one thing that I say about my girlfriend now. She's just present, and she knows the whirlwind of my life. Like when I travel and when I'm in the spotlight and when I'm dealing with negativity or positivity and I'm winning and I'm stressed, like she's just there. Like I play on the biggest stadiums in the world, and I get back to the little hallway and she's just waiting there, and she's like, yeah, you did really well. And it's like, she just sits there and she's just like, I'm proud of you. And, you know, we go home and we'll make food together. It's just like, I love just the simplest of things. Like I don't need anything. It's like, just be present for me, because like in the whirlwind of my life and the shitstorm, I just want to come home to a nice, calm environment where we can talk and just relax. And I don't want to talk about tennis, just like, what are you doing today? Or what are we doing? I just love that. And I think that's
just who are you as a human being?
Like, I know it's not easy. Like, I'm not easy to be with. Like, there's a lot of shit that comes with me, and I've got a lot of baggage, and I've got a lot of spotlight, and people don't like, I know not everyone wants that. It's not fun all the time. And I think my girlfriend now, she's just really, she's just present. She just rides the waves, like, and she's really good to travel with. That is the biggest thing. And that's how you know if she's a one or not. If you can travel with your partner and not lose your shit at them with like delayed flights or shitty hotels. If you can travel with your partner, then she's the one.
Yeah. It goes both ways. I always tell people, I say, if you want to know where you really are in a relationship, travel alone with someone, no matter who it is, you will expose yourself. Because that's, you like, when you wake up together, go to bed together, deal with the hotel together, like you said, the flight's delayed, there's a problem with the seats.
Yeah, everything.
You will know who the other person
adversity,
is. Yeah, you know. What does she think of your OnlyFans? Like, because you have an OnlyFans. I saw this and I was like, Nick, what the hell is this? And then I was like, okay, it's not like a. It's funny because OnlyFans started off as this idea where you could just share insider insights. Now people think of OnlyFans as only being porn. When I saw Nick Kyrgios is on OnlyFans, I was like, what?
Yeah, what did you think? You were going to say what did you think? You were going to say my extra bit of equipment? Obviously not.
I thought I was going to see your tennis balls, Nick. That's what I thought, man.
Yeah, baby. That's a lot of people want to see. But it's like, it's crazy, you know? And it's like, I'm just giving insights of like my training regimes, like my rehab, my dog, like normal life stuff that people love to see. It's like, oh, I'm doing, I'm going behind the scenes of Good Trouble, my show, or like, like just tennis stuff. And it's like, I think in a way, look, I think some part of OnlyFans obviously very, very insane. Like I would never, ever do anything like, obviously I'm not going to go out there, take my shirt off and shit and do like, that's not happening. But at the same time, like I think, look, there's a way to, I got so many fans that are willing to, see my stuff and my stuff. Not that stuff, but
not your stuff, not your stuff, but your stuff.
Yeah. And I think it's cool. But the cool thing about it is that every media platform now that wants to see what I'm up to has to subscribe to my OnlyFans. So I do big announcements on my Instagram. I'm like, make sure you go to my Instagram.
Hilarious.
And then all these media platforms are subscribing to my OnlyFans, and then they got to go and see what I'm doing. So it's like, I'm just stealing their money.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. So the tennis world now has to sub to my OnlyFans to be like, oh, that's what he's doing. Oh shit, we had to.
Now they know what's happening. It's like paying the tabloid to follow you for a change.
Exactly. And it's like, actually, it's payback.
That's actually a great idea.
You're gonna start doing it now, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I mean that's actually I'm not mad at this idea. Actually, would you ever stream gaming as well?
Yeah. That's what I mean. I was streaming. I'm playing some games like Logan Paul and stuff, and I'm gonna stream them on OnlyFans and stuff. Like it's cool. Like it's cool, and I think I'm actually helping the platform a bit gain some more, athletes. I think it's cool. Like, I would actually subscribe to, if like Jason Tatum or Boston Celtics had OnlyFans, I would subscribe, like to get inside the locker room and see like dope like huddles before they go out. 100%. You kidding me? I would.
Get inside the game and into the human being. Well, you know what? I'll tell you as one of your fans. Yeah, man, I appreciate who you are as a person. I appreciate how flawed you've been in public. I appreciate the fact that you've survived through it all. I know it's not easy. I can't imagine what it's like, you know, at the age that you were doing it, and then under the microscope that you're constantly under. But yeah, man, I appreciate that you try, that you grow, that you talk about your mental health, that you do it all, and that you're a great guy, for real, man. I really appreciate it. It's great to meet your heroes, and they're as fantastic as you are, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so keep doing it. And I promise you now, just do me one favor. I promise you now. This is it's the promise I made to myself, Nick. I always go, if the world is ending, you've got to figure out what kind of party you're throwing for it. And I think of that in your career as well.
I would just sit in front of my PC and play.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the same thing for you, man. When you're on the road, when it's that final goodbye, please, I promise you I'm not wrong on this. Make it a party, man. Make it the biggest goodbye, the most fun. Bring your people, make it raucous. Leave your stamp on the sport. Don't let the sport leave its stamp on you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thanks. All right, bro.
Thank you again, Nick.
Take it easy.
Appreciate you.
See you, man.
All right, cool.
Bye.